everybody. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to Game Night on the Region Sports Network. We come to you tonight from Valparaiso High School as the Region Sports Network presents live video coverage of Indiana high school football as the Lake Central Indians travel to take on the Valparaiso Vikings. I'm Captain Malater, and I'll have the play-by-play for all of tonight's action. And joining me with the color analysis of tonight's game is Chris Figg. Good evening, Chris. Really important game to get some momentum before state playoffs next week.
Yeah, definitely need to get some momentum going before state playoffs. It's the last regular season game of the year. You know, you get to suit up next week, but next week is the one where it's win or go home. So big game for Lake Central, especially drawing Crown Point in the first round. Really want to get some good momentum going out of this game into that next game. Crown Point being one of the top teams in the region for the past 3-4 years at this point.
Yeah, that unbeaten streak in terms of regular season is second to none. We'll stay on Lake Central here. The Indians 2-6. 1-5 overall in Duneland play, and the biggest storyline for them tonight is can they put together a full 4 quarters? They've been a great first half team, but how can they convert it to play a full 60 tonight?
Yeah, in order to convert and play a full 60 tonight, you know, the big thing is keep the offensive momentum going. You have a quarterback who is your leading rusher. He's averaging 5.93 yards a carry on the season. He still has thrown for a good amount, 584, so he's got over 1,000 yards total on the season. But, you know, the big thing with this offense is just stick to running the ball. Last week I got to see him play Maryville. They did a couple midline options, couple read options. It really opened up the running game, gave them some great run lanes. They've got a good offensive line that's able to win at the point of attack, but it's just keeping that momentum. You know, don't panic. If the game's not going the way you want, you can't panic and just start throwing the ball 20, 30 times in the game.
Yeah, Pete Goulianos in his second season right now trying to find a big win. Win against Valparaiso. I know it's been a down year for the Vikings, would still be a statement for them. Staying on the Vikings, 2-6 overall, both their wins coming in Duneland Conference play, which included last week a very dominant rivalry win over Portage on the road. It feels like they're finally clicking now for the first time in what seems like for the entire season.
Yeah, and, you know, they've got a very solid offense, very solid defense as well. Offense is pretty balanced for the most part. You've got 1,300 yards passing on the season, got almost 1,000 on the season rushing. But the big thing is, you know, and thing that really pops out on the stat sheet to me is the turnovers. You know, you've got 9 passing touchdowns to 13 interceptions on the season. You've got to make sure you take control of the game, don't turn the ball over. Football is all about turnovers and moving the chains. And if you're able to move the chains and not turn the ball over, you have a good chance of winning. And, I mean, this is a very, very strong Lake Central defense. So, you know, just making sure to not give them too many chances with the ball, but also just keep what you're doing on defense. I mean, you've forced at least 1 turnover a game on the season, so can't be too upset with the defensive play this year. But this is definitely a Valpo team that seems to have turned the corner last week, and they're seeming to keep that momentum going today and into playoffs next week.
Totally agree with you on that, especially considering the fact that come playoff time, usually whoever has the better defense oftentimes not is going to find a way to get a victory. Valparaiso getting set to take the field here in the all-green uniforms. So will Lake Central. And here come the Vikings with fireworks. They sure know how to make an entrance here in Valparaiso.
Yes, they do. This is one of my favorite venues in the region to come to and watch some football. I got to call their last game last year, and I mean, they make it a fun time. They shoot off fireworks, have the light show going and everything. It's a very exciting environment to be a part of as a high school player.
It's got that little bit of that pro and collegiate taste to it in that far side corner. Lake Central trying to play the role of villain. They haven't won a conference game since the opener. It was a shutout win over Portage. LC has come so close, but now it's up to try to play a full 4 quarters as the Indians take the field here on the road to a small contingency of blue, white, and black in the crowd with the all-pink socks, some of them donning the pink shoes here in October. As teams take the field, time for the national anthem, and we'll step aside. You're watching Game Night here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
At Strachan Van Til, we believe grocery shopping should be simple. Now, shopping is easier than ever with our new and improved website. Find what you need fast. Browse your favorite products, add them to your cart, and check out in just a few quick steps. Choose between convenient in-store pickup or let us handle the heavy lifting. From our shelves to your doorstep, skip the lines, shop your way, and spend more time on what matters most. With our rewards program, enjoy incredible savings and personalized offers every time you shop. Shop online now at strachanvantail.com or download our app today.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowd Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowd Companies, insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
From lighting up Friday night football to powering the classrooms that shape the students of Lake County, IBEW Local 697 is proud to support our region's schools and the communities we call home. A career as a union electrician could be your next great move. Your next cap might be a hard hat. IBEW Local 697, powering futures, powering the region.
Welcome back to Game Night on the Region Sports Network. Kevin Malater, Chris Fig with you as the coin toss festivities taking place down with our officiating crew at midfield. Valparaiso in the all-green uniforms, white pants, Lake Central in the all-white. Valpo, as you might be able to hear in the background, is one and deferred. So we will see the Lake Central offense out there first. An offense that has really struggled in the second half of games. They've been a great first half team, so we'll see if those trends continue here today in the final game of the regular season. Time now for the Friday night forecast, brought to you by our friends at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling. Tonight's forecast, 66 degrees as we stand right now. 62 degrees is the feels like temperature. 10-mile-per-hour wind straight up from the south as the sun is already set. And we could have gusts up to 20 miles an hour, so it'll be interesting to see how the kicking game is impacted by that. That's the Friday night forecast, brought to you by Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. As Trevor Fodner approaches the football and gets set to tee it off, it's time for a Quintel kickoff. This kickoff and all kickoffs are presented by Quintel Incorporated. Quintel Incorporated, handling jobs of all sizes throughout the country since 1994. Logan Rowden and Jaden Mansfield are the two deep men. Mansfield, a freshman, but boy, has he been so much fun to watch over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's a very electric returner. He reads the blocks good on kickoff, and, he does a really good job.
So Valparaiso deferred after winning the coin toss. And the return will come from the shade of the end zone, and a good open field hit. And Lake Central will start with the shadows of their own end zone at around the 6.5-yard line. So here comes the Indians offense. Cameron Reddick, the starting quarterback. They've been running a two-quarterback system for most of the year. Westlowich got hurt towards the end of the Chesterton game. He was not listed on the two deep, so we expect it to be the Cam Reddick show this evening.
Yeah, Cam Reddick last week was the starting quarterback, took the show the whole game. Kickoff team did a really great job of pinning this team on their own 6-yard line, but this is a team I watched go 99 yards against Maryville last week for a scoring drive.
It was their best drive of the season. They talk about it. First give right up the middle and to the 10-yard line goes the ball carrier, And Jacob Turley, the junior, averaging just under 5.5 yards a tote. He's second on the team in rushing yards and carries behind their starting quarterback, Cameron Reddick.
Yeah, and he broke off a couple good runs last week. Again, you got a 2-yard gain right there. Offensive line did a good job of pushing the defense line and winning at that point of attack. But this is a defense that runs a 4-3 defense. It's going to be a little bit harder to run against as the game goes on.
They've allowed just 182 rushing yards a game this year. Valpo's defense has forced opponents under 100 yards on the ground 3 times this year. They go back on the ground, and a 5-yard pickup on 2nd and 10 for Turley.
And that's the kind of run you want to see right there. You're staying ahead of the chains. Got a nice little game there. You make it a 3rd and manageable, 3rd and 2. This is a team that can take advantage with the play action because they're such a run-heavy team. They're able to catch a defense off guard, especially this defense has really got their safeties close to the box. So they're not playing their safeties super deep, running mostly a 1-safety look.
3rd down and 2, quarterback keeper right up the gut, and Reddick will pick up the first down to the 19-yard line. It's our first down of the game, brought to you by Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville, your Northwest Indiana heating and air conditioning specialist, and that's the short yardage package that Pete Koulianos has gone to all season long.
Yeah, every time I saw them run a quarterback sneak last week, or a tush push as the Eagles like to call it, they've always gotten at least 2, sometimes even 3 yards off it. I mean, they've done a really good job of essentially perfecting it at the high school level. But, again, when short yardage comes, there's nothing better than a QB sneak. I think it's 92% of the time it is successful. So one of the more successful short yardage plays.
From the 19, it's 1st down and 10. Option look here, and cutting it outside. It's a good run for a different tailback here for Lake Central. That is R.J. Edwards. Edwards, who is a freshman listed as a linebacker, but there he is getting an early carry.
Yeah, they lined up in a triple option look. Quarterback read the defensive end set, immediately handed off. You have a wide open lane on the back, able to get, I believe, 6 yards there on the carry. So I like the play calling. When you've got a quarterback that's as dangerous as Reddick is with his legs, you've got to utilize that read option.
Pistol here. Reddick gives it off, and nice job there. Valparaiso ready for Ryan Cheek, the interior tackle. No gain on the play, and here comes 3rd down and manageable again.
Yeah, and Ryan Cheek has had a really good season. He's one of their top tacklers, as well as he's leading their team with 2.5 sacks this season. This isn't a team you're going to see throw the ball a lot, but he is a difference maker at defensive tackle as a run stopper especially.
Still 3rd down and 4. Lake Central as an offense converting it around 34.5% on 3rd downs this season. Reddick gives it off right up the middle. It's a 1st down run for Jacob Turley to the 32-yard line. They move the sticks again. It's another Four Seasons Mechanical 1st down. Brought to you by our friends at Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville. Visit them on the web at fourseasonsmechanical.com.
Yeah, and they've stuck to their true identity of just a run-first team on this drive, and they've done a good job. 2 first downs starting on your own 5-yard line. You're doing a good job of just moving the ball, and the hard thing about playing a run-first offense, if they get a drive going, they can take a whole 12 minutes off the clock. They've already taken 4 minutes off the clock in the first quarter.
6 plays so far, all of them on the ground. Reddick has only thrown it 109 times this season. And with the play clock winding down, Pete Koulianos will take his first timeout. So will we. Lake Central, opening drive of the game. Already 4 minutes and 8 seconds gone by on the game clock. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialists.
With electrical service.
Visit regionsports.com, Facebook/Region Sports Nation, Instagram, and Region Sports Network's YouTube for this week's Home Improvement Top 10, presented by Enigenberg Exteriors. Enigenberg Exteriors, you can find them on the web at ebergexteriors.com. Reddick on the keeper, ball comes out, but Turley falls on it at the 30. Valparaiso says they have it. Turley, I thought, fell on it, but now Valparaiso is getting the football. Fedorchuk came away with it. It looks like Turley had it, but I guess he must have lost it at some point in the process of the pile.
I think when he landed on it, he might have not been able to hold on to it because it shot out, gave the defense an opportunity to jump on it. Good heads-up play by Turley there, seeing the ball on the ground and going for it. So, I mean, he did a good job. But, you know, again, that's one of the hard things about when you run the ball. You know, you start racking up some hits on you. You can sometimes drop that ball.
And this is where Valparaiso shined last week. Points off turnovers. And Hosek to throw. It's a quick hitter to the outside. Sam Bernard turns upfield inside the 15. Bernard a first down to the LC 12-yard line. It's the first play of the game. And Valparaiso picks up a first down. Brought to you by Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville, your Northwest Indiana heating and air conditioning specialist.
Yeah, and, you know, Lake Central there brought some pressure, running more of a softer coverage there. Valpo took advantage of it, ran a quick little comeback route, able to get an easy first down there and even more yardage after the catch.
Good for 18 yards, the first Viking horn of the game. Chase Ludwig, the motion man. They fake it to him. They go right up the middle with Gage Finley, breaking through tackles, and Finley's to the 1-yard line. It's another first down. Brought to you by our friends at Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville. Visit them on the web at fourseasonsmechanical.com. 2 plays, 2 first downs for the Vikings.
Yeah, definitely a change of pace compared to the offense we just saw with Lake Central, where they were starting to grind out. I mean, a 4-minute drive to open up the game. And, I mean, this is where Valpo can take big advantage. You get the ball in their side of the field.
Finley right up the middle and in. 3 plays is all it takes, and Valparaiso strikes first.
Offensive line did a really good job there. They did more of a positioning block. You didn't really see them driving the guys off the ball. Whole goal of a position block is you're able to open up an easier run lane for your running back. Your movement isn't necessarily driving the defensive lineman downfield, but more so just driving them a little bit to the side, opening that gap. And shout out to the Valpo offensive line, did a really good job making it basically a walk-in touchdown on the 3rd play of their drive.
So now here is Trevor Faudner. He's had a couple of PATs blocked, one last week. He got that one up over the line and through. So Valparaiso points off turnovers yet again, the key theme for this offense. They had 10 last week against Portage. They have 7 here early on against Lake Central. 7:04 to play. Valparaiso 7, Lake Central nothing. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at forajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4, ajobdoneright.com.
Welcome back. We're set for a Quintel kickoff. This kickoff and all kickoffs are presented by Quintel Incorporated. Quintel Incorporated, handling jobs of all sizes throughout the country since 1994. Faudner boots it. It tails right and will be claimed at the goal line by Lucas Lynn. Lynn turns the corner, a good burst. Lynn, blockers out in front, changes direction again. And Lucas Lynn is finally dragged down at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, really great return there. You know, he cut against the grain essentially. Instead of just going straight upfield, cut it to the right side of the field. Really good play there by the kickoff team. try to shake. I'm trying to get the name, number 22 on the kick return or kickoff team. Try to shake him out of his shoes, but to no avail. He stood his ground, wasn't able to get many more yards. That was Ethan Poisel on the tackle there. Really great tackle by him, especially linebacker in space right there as well.
So now here comes the second series for this Lake Central offense. Believe it or not, they were moving the ball really effectively on their opening drive before the fumble from Cam Reddick. 1st and 10 from the 37. Reddick fakes. It's his first pass of the game. He goes over the top for Verda. It's over his head and incomplete. He was streaking through the middle of that. Valparaiso secondary, to your point you made on the opening drive, are pinching in towards the box.
Yeah, they're pinching in towards the box, and that's really where, if you're a run-first offense and you're seeing them just pinch in, start lining up in the box, take the hat off them. Throw a play action out there, streak your best receiver down the field. I mean, he had a step on the DB right there. Almost, if it comes down, he's probably trotting into the end zone right after the catch, but, just a little off target. I think pressure got to Reddick there a little sooner than he thought it would. But, I like the play call.
Reddick, the lesser of the two quarterbacks in terms of passing, as there's an interior run that gets blown up for a 2-yard loss. Valparaiso's front seven read it well on the carry for Jacob Turley, and it'll be 3rd down and 12 incoming.
Yeah, the front seven read that really, really good, but you also had, I believe it was 6 guys. You had 2 blitzing linebackers coming up too. Either they were blitzing or they just saw it was a run the whole time, didn't even try to play the pass. Like the play call, because again, now you're stopping them, you're getting a tackle for a loss. You're pushing a team that hasn't really been known for throwing the ball this season into passing territory.
Connor Haynes, first guy on the scene for Valparaiso, but to Chris's point, several green shirts in the area. Reddick rolls out, goes far silent towards the sticks. It's caught by Logan Rowden. Believe he's going to be a yard short, or is he? Depends on the spot. They're going to spot it a 1st down. Wow.
That is a huge play right there. As I'm saying, they're not known for passing the ball. Do a nice quick little curl route there. No DBs near him, no linebackers near him. Wide open wide receiver, and you're able to get an easy 1st down in a 3rd and long situation, which Lake Central hasn't really done a good job of getting that 1st down conversion on those longer downs.
It's a Four Seasons Mechanical 1st down from the 47. It's Turley up the gut, and that's a strong 1st down carry.
Yeah, and they went right back to the read option. Reddick's reading that defensive end. If he's sitting, he's handing it off. If he goes after the running back, he's going to trail off. Seems like this Valpo defense knows who they're playing. They're going to make Reddick really try to beat him with his arm. So every time they're going to run an option play, they're always going to read the quarterback first, make the running back have to make a play.
He's 1 for 2 so far, and they go back to the pistol on 2nd down and 4. Turley will get the call, and he will move the sticks again. A good run down to the Valparaiso 41-yard line. It's another Four Seasons Mechanical 1st down. Brought to you by our friends at Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville, your Northwest Indiana heating and air conditioning specialist.
Yeah, it's really hard to defend against options sometimes, and that's where you're going to see why Valpo's really pinched these safeties as well, because now you've got essentially an extra linebacker replacing that defensive end that's being read, or the outside linebacker if it's a pitch play. So, it's just hard, because if the defensive end sits there, running back's going to have a lane right off either the guard or tackle there, able to get easy yardage if you don't have someone covering that gap.
Good for 6 yards again. Turley on an end around trying to cut it back inside. And Valparaiso ready for it again. Lucas Peterson, first guy there. However, he had some help from Ryan Cheek and Connor Haynes. It's a loss of 1.
Yeah, and it seems like the run plays that haven't worked as well for Lake Central tonight have actually been the non-option plays where it's just a straight quarterback sweep or handoff to the running back. We'll do a little bit of a counter action there. But, again, when your quarterback is able to run the ball as well as Reddick is, where he was the starting running back, I believe, at the beginning of the season, run the read option, run some triple option out there, make this defense really have to defend the run and think about it.
Reddick this time rolling out to his left to throw. Now he steps up in the pocket, and he's got room to run. Cameron Reddick picks up 10 and makes it 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, right call there by Reddick. Defense is running a man coverage right there. Wide open hole, take the lane and run. Again, when you can run the ball as efficiently as he can, take off and run. It's like when you watch Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray in the NFL, they see man coverage, they see a gap, and they're off to the races.
Tush push again on 3rd down and 1 with Reddick. And good luck sorting this one out if you're wearing zebra stripes. I think he got it. Line to gains the 31. The far side official came in spotting it there.
It's either going to be given to him or it's going to be 4th and inches.
And based off that spot, it looks like he got it, and he did. So it's a first down for Cameron Reddick. And it's another Four Seasons Mechanical first down brought to you by our friends at Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville. Visit them on the web at fourseasonsmechanical.com.
Yeah, and that's, again, this is an offense that when they stick to the run game, they're able to take some time off the clock. They've brought it down to 3:45. Valpo had a really quick drive. Lake Central's just draining the clock.
Turley cuts his feet and gets to the 26.5.
In the words of some very wise men at one point, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Every time they've ran the read option tonight, they're getting 3-4 yards a pop every time. Because, again, you got to respect Reddick with his legs after we just saw him take off on that pass play. But also, Lake Central's got some good running backs to be able to run the read option, too, and it seems like they're pretty deep, throwing some freshmen out there and everything.
You have Reddick, who's their quarterback, averaging 5.9 yards a show. Turley, their tailback, 5.5 yards a carry.
Yeah,
usually gets the job done.
Yeah.
Reddick rolling out again, looking far side, and he overshot Logan Rouda near the sticks.
Yeah, Valpo did the right thing there. When you're playing against a run-heavy team with a quarterback that has a tendency to take off, especially if there's man coverage, you got to stick to more zone. Really went back to the zone there. Don't give Reddick many areas to run. Defensive line also did a really good job of closing off any kind of run lanes he would have wanted to take by pinching in. But, again, potential first down play right there if he completes the pass. Not a horrible play call. Just unfortunately not able to get the timing right.
3rd and 5 inside 3 minutes left in the quarter. They go pistol again. Turley, the featured tailback, goes right up the middle. Flag down as Turley lowers his shoulders shy of first down yardage.
I believe this one's going to come back. Usually when a back judge that far back throws a flag, it's either going to be a face mask or it's going to be a holding. And if he's getting you on a holding back there, it's pretty egregious. Yep.
10-yard penalty on Lake Central for the hold, so it negates what would have been a 4-yard run for Turley.
See, it's hard as a coach because if you decline it, you give them 4th and short with an offense that's been able to produce on these 4th and short opportunities and get the first down. But also if you push them back, now you're doing 3rd and long. They've only had one this drive and were able to convert. And it looks like they're getting it correct on the spot now. So now it's going to be 3rd and 15 compared to you were going to be looking at 4th and 1. So I like the call to accept it because, again, this is an offense that they're a run-heavy offense. You're going to make them have to throw the ball now. You're really going to make Reddick have to beat them with his arm.
And Olenkamp, their field goal kicker, who that would have been field goal range as well. His long was only 35, so now you push them out of Lake Central's field goal range. Reddick trying to take a chunk of the yardage off. He will. He goes underneath to Rowden. He's short of the line to gain, but it is a good 3rd and long play as they will make this 4th down and medium in a decision here for Pete Koulianos.
It looks like they're either going to go for it or they're going to try to get this defense to jump off sides, call a timeout, and then kick the field goal. Again, this is a very aggressive play call. If you end up having a 4th down play here, if you do, it's kind of like a 2-point conversion. You've got to pull something out that Valpo hasn't seen on tape all year. Maybe a play that you messed around with in practice at one point during the week. Every offense and every team's got them. It's just a matter of, is this the opportunity now to call it, or do you want to save it for playoff action next week as well?
They still need 6 yards, too, so even if you get them to jump, no good. Reddick over the middle, it's swatted down. Great coverage at the sticks by Valparaiso's younger quarterback, Gio Garcia Juarez. 5'10", 160-pound DB on the intended pass on just a very simple crossing route. It's turnover on downs.
Yeah, and that's a huge 4th down stop because, if Lake Central gets it, they've got a ton of momentum going in, and they're probably going to score at that point. Honestly, if your kicker can make it, should have kicked the field goal, take the points. It's only a 1-point game right now.
So Valpo takes over on their own 27. And they go with an end around here. And it is a good run on first down and 10 to make it second down and short. And Parisi on the carry.
Yeah, and those end arounds are kind of funny because it's more of a touch pass, so it counts as a pass completion. So now you've got your quarterback is essentially, he is now 2 for 2 on the night on one of the easier passes he'll throw.
Second down and 1. Hosek, quick hitter. It's caught. It's Sam Vennard, and this will definitely move the sticks out to the 46-yard line. It's another first down for Valparaiso, and it's brought to you by Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville. Visit them on the web at fourseasonsmechanical.com.
Yeah, and that's huge. And, Valpo's really taken advantage. Lake Central has seemed to run more of a cushion coverage defense in this first quarter. Take advantage of it. If they're going to give you some cushion, do some quick little curl routes, quick comeback routes, or even a quick, mesh route, you're able to get some easy yards off it.
LC showing pressure here. And they will go with Finley, big hole. It was closed up nicely there. A good open field tackle for the interior linebacker and Braden Hurley. He's a free safety who came up and made a stop there in the gap.
Yeah, that's a huge stop from a safety. I mean, you're coming from deep down the field. But, that's a really heads-up play there by the running back. Able to cut back. Lane wasn't there for Gage Finley originally. Cut it back. Wide open gap there. Had to make a safety come up and make the play.
2nd and 6. It's Finley again, trying to get outside. And another good tackle. It's once again Braden Hurley. And here comes 3rd down and medium here. That's, once again, consecutive quality open field tackles there from a free safety.
Yeah, and I mean, he's starting all the way back almost 10, 15 yards deep and making the play. So it's a great play by him, but it looks like this defense especially, they're walking up. They're a 4-3 offense truly, but they're running almost more of a 3-3 look, 3-4 look. They're lining up. They're having that outside linebacker line up as an edge rusher, more so on the weak side of the field. So Valpo just keeps running it to that side.
And they'll have their first 3rd down of the game on the offensive side of the ball after this break. We've played a quarter. Valparaiso out in front 7-0. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the...
Welcome back. Second quarter begins with a 3rd down and 3 for Valparaiso, and Lake Central showing blitz. Parisi, the motion man. He'll check back out. They go back with Turley trying to bounce it outside, and he's going to be stuffed near the line to gain. He's going to be a yard shy.
Yeah,
good pursuit from Lake Central there.
If you're Valpo here, every play has been a positive gain. I mean, go for it. Worst thing that happens is Lake Central gets the ball back on their own 45. Best case scenario, you get a first down, drive gets to keep going. It's a lot longer of a drive than their first drive of the game, but it's only their second drive of this game.
There's Isaiah Alvarez with the tackle. Second year on the varsity team, he's a junior. Now 4th down and 1 from the 45-yard line. We'll see what the decision here is from Bill Marshall.
I think they're just trying to get them to jump off sides, and then they're going to take the delay of game and then punt the ball.
And they're going to take that delay. You called it perfectly. So there's the 5-yard penalty. Or unless Valpo got the timeout off first.
They got it off.
So it'll be Valparaiso's first time out. So still be interested to see if they send Hosek and the offense back out there on 4th down and 1. Lake Central, great discipline up front. And they've been the strongest unit on this LC team. There's only so much a defense can do at points, especially when your offense really can't move the ball down the field. They have been able to do so more effectively tonight. Check out the IBEW Local 697 electrifying plays from this week's football action. Visit regionsports.com, Facebook/Region Sports Nation, or on Instagram. The electrifying plays presented by IBEW Local 697, the electrical professionals. Offense still out there for Valparaiso after the timeout.
Looks like they are going to go for it because, I mean, you took the timeout instead of delay of game. So at this point, if you don't go for it and take a delay of game, it's almost like you just wasted a timeout essentially.
Exactly.
So they are going to go for it. Maybe they just didn't like the defensive formation that was lined up, and that's why the quarterback was looking to the sidelines.
So 4th down and 1. Lake Central showing a ton of pressure again. They go back with Finley again, and he's stuffed short. Lake Central stands strong and forces a turnover on downs.
Yeah, I mean, again, we talked about it earlier. This is a Lake Central defense that has been the best unit for them all season long. I mean, they've gained more than 500 yards than their opponents in every game because of this defense. Question is, can the offense get on track? Your defense just gift wrapped you one of your best field positions of the night you're probably going to get. And, I mean, you've got to take advantage of this now. You got the ball on your own 46.
It is their best starting field position of the game. Their last drive, which they got down inside the Valparaiso 25, saw it start on their own 37. So 1st down and 10. They're only trailing by 7. This is still very much a ball game here, despite a lot of the momentum, for the most part, in this first half, tilting Valparaiso's way. They fake it to win the motion man. Reddick pumps, gets hit, and he's going to go down for a loss. Lucas Peterson, the sack.
Yeah, that was a good move there by Lucas Pearson. He acted like he was going to set the edge to not give him really a lane to run. Instead, cuts inside. And, I mean, does a great job of getting off his block there, making a huge sack there. This is a team that, again, when they're not playing ahead of the sticks, it makes their offense a little bit more complicated and harder on themselves. So now you're looking at 2nd and 15. I think you should they're probably going to run the ball here, but they should try to do like a play action or a screen.
They go play action. Reddick under duress escapes and gets ahead of the original line of scrimmage, and will make it 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, and again, that's a great call right there, is a little bit of play action. I would like them to do, one of his bigger runs of the night was on a non-play action. It was just a quarterback rollout. I mean, this is a quarterback, when you get him rolling out, he can throw the ball pretty decently on the run. But, the big thing is it gives him a lane. If they're running man coverage and he rolls out, he's able to just take off and run with already a full head of steam almost going.
3rd down and 8. Rowden goes in motion. Reddick on a rollout, pressure from the backside. Heaves it downfield, and it's incomplete. The intended target was Hamza Issa inside the Valparaiso 30.
That was great.
4th down and long.
And that was a great job of Valpo, not resorting straight to man coverage. They're moved to more of a zone, so you don't give Reddick necessarily room to run because you've got linebackers drop back in zone that are essentially quarterback spies when you're playing against this Lake Central offense. So I like the call to go to zone there, especially on a 3rd and long situation where it's more tempting to go to man coverage, but this isn't the normal offense that you play against every Friday, too.
So here's TJ Olenkamp to boot it away. Parisi and Varnado, the deep man. This is a bomb. Varnado will let this bounce over his head and into the end zone for a touchback. He didn't get the bounce he was hoping for, but still a great swing there from TJ.
Yeah, he's got a heck of a leg on him. I think last week he had almost a 65-yard punt. So, he has a leg. It's just a matter of, try to angle it more to the outside. But, again, this is high school football. You're not going to have a punter that's necessarily going to be specialized in being able to get that backspin, side spin, whatever it is that you need. But, this is going to push Valpo now to their 20-yard line, one of their worst starting positions of the night.
It is their worst at this point. Last drive started on their own 27, stalled out near midfield. Play fake from Hosek. Down the seam, it's caught! Across the 45-yard line, Chase Lovick, a nice leaping grab. 1st down, Valparaiso.
Found the gap in the zone, wide open on a streak route up the middle. DB was looking to the right, seeing some of the wide receivers on their left, but Valpo's right side of the field. Again, that's a great job by the wide receiver, not necessarily trying to make a bigger play happen by going outside of the zone coverage, just sticking with his lane.
Good for 26 yards. It's a first down brought to you by Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville. Visit them on the web at fourseasonsmechanical.com. Out route, it's caught by Parisi, the team's leading receiver. He's in elite LC territory, and here comes second down and 4.
Yeah, Parisi's had a really good season so far. Before this game, he had 424 yards, averaging 9.6 yards of reception, and he's tied for the touchdown lead with 3 touchdowns on the season. So, he has been definitely the favorite of the quarterback throwing the ball.
He's 5th in the Duneland Conference in receiving yards. Entering the night, they go to him on a jet touch pass. It's Parisi. Good cut back inside. Parisi, another great cut. Can he escape a third? No, he can't, but it's a great run all the way down to the 11-yard line. A potentially touchdown-saving tackle made by Brian Reisky, the outside linebacker. But once it's Parisi in motion, making things happen for the Valpo offense.
And that's a good job by the outside linebacker, tracing him down the field, not giving up on the play. That's the biggest thing a defensive coordinator preaches. Do not give up on the play. You never know. You see it all the time. Defensive linemen running downfield and making a big touchdown-saving tackle. This time we see the outside linebacker.
So first down and 10. Hosek going far side again, and it's through the hands of Troy Danzy.
Just led him a little bit too far, but, he was wide open, and you had 2 wide receivers. It's not necessarily a pick play, but you have 2 wide receivers essentially running a downfield route. And if a defense is running man coverage, that pulls their guys out of the play. Now you're just contending with whoever's covering you. So, again, great play call there. Valpo's really liked this trips look all night. Every once in a while they'll line up the tight end in the backfield is almost more of an H-back right behind the tackle. So, again, this has been a very, very strong outing from this offense.
They fake it to the motion man. Finley, a stutter step, and he's down at the 7.
And that's where those touch passes have really led to. They've had they had one huge play off a touch pass and another one that went for 6-7 yards. So, again, when you start doing that, you see that wide receiver going in motion, you're thinking it's another one. Fake it to him, hand it off. You usually got a wide open gap right on the right side between the guard and center.
Third down and 6. This is a big opportunity for Lake Central to potentially hold Valpo to 3 here. If they can find a stop or at least keep them shy of the chains. They can get a first down without a touchdown. However, the line to gain is the 1-yard line. Hosek on a screen pass. It's caught but blown up in the backfield. Parisi with the catch, but the tackle was made by the linebacker for Lake Central, and Jason Mann. You don't call his name a whole lot often. He's a third-string linebacker and defensive back combo role, and it's a loss of 5 on the play.
Yeah, and he did a really good job of not only reading the screen, but he blew up the screen blocker and basically was right in the wide receiver's lap by the time he caught the ball. He didn't necessarily have anywhere to go. So, again, great play by the defense there, and this has been a very strong defense all year.
So now here's Faudner, right hash. This is a 30-yard field goal attempt. He's 0 for 1 on the season on field goals. Swings the legs, and it got blocked. Lake Central, another great stand. The hope was to just leave it to 3. Instead, they get 0.
Again, this Lake Central defense has come to play tonight. Yes, you had the first drive of the game, 3-play touchdown. Started with short field position, unfortunately, due to that turnover from the offense. But this defense is doing everything, doing all their job assignments and everything. So now they're looking at the offense like, hey, we've got your back. We can hold them. We need you guys to go out there and get some points on the board so that way we can have a breather too.
A great sign of a good defense is how mentally tough they are. They gave up a 38-yard run to put Valpo just outside the 10-yard line, and they somehow get off the field without allowing a point.
Yeah, great job by blocking the field goal. You turn it from being a 2-score game, it's still a 1-score game now.
First down carry here, Jacob Turley. And that one is good for 5.
Right back to the read option there, and again, it's been something that's been a strong proponent of this offense in the 2 games now that I've been able to see them for. Just keep doing it. Every time you've done it, you've gotten a positive game. When you go straight to play action, or if you do a just straight run where it's, as I said, a QB sweep counter, defense isn't fooled. They see, hey, that's the ball runner. I'm just going straight at them. Read option, you've got to honor the quarterback and the running back.
Turley again, a good sidestep, spinning his way forward. He's going to be a yard shy. But there's Turley once again, yards after contact. He's one of the best in the region at doing so.
And, this is a big drive for this Lake Central offense. They take a lot of time off the clock. We've got 6 minutes left in this first half. I mean, if they can drive this ball down the field efficiently, you don't really give this Valpo team a chance to get points on the board before getting the ball back in the second half.
3rd and 1, tush push again with Cameron Reddick. They needed 1, they got 2, and they move the sticks with a Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville first down. Brought to you by our friends at Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville, your Northwest Indiana heating and air conditioning specialists.
I wouldn't mind seeing Lake Central jump into a little bit of a hurry-up offense with as run-heavy as they are because, again, this is a defense hasn't really made a lot of substitutions in the 4 drives that Lake Central has been on offense. Really tire them out. This is a team that, when you get to these bigger schools, not a lot of these kids are playing both ways, so try to wear these players out as much as you can.
Reddick turned the wrong way. He'll just have to call his own number and turns it what looked to be a disaster in the backfield into about a 3-yard gain.
A little bit of a broken play there, but when you've got an athletic quarterback, it does help on the broken plays sometimes. You're still able to get some yardage out of it. Good job by him for cutting up into looked like he cut up into the A-gap between the guard and center. Able to get a positive gain there, keep ahead of the sticks.
Cameron Asbell, the tackle, a 6'1", 220-pound senior, tied his season high in tackles last week at Portage. Design keeper for Cameron Reddick cuts it back across the grain and picks up first down yardage.
Yeah, that's probably one of their better runs of the night that wasn't an option play and it wasn't necessarily any kind of trickery. It was just a straight, hey, we're going to do a quarterback power play essentially. You pull the right guard, right tackle, run behind the big guys because they're usually getting to the second level. When you got a big guy hitting a linebacker, I can promise you as a big guy hitting the linebacker, it's fun. As a linebacker, it's not as fun.
You feel those on Saturday morning in film sessions.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a good first down run for the second-string tailback in Brody Ramirez, the 6-foot junior, only averaging about 1.5 yards a carry. He picks up a 6 there on first down.
Yeah, and this offensive line has done a good job of these combo blocks where, either the guard and tackle, guard and center are essentially comboing the guy in between them, going to the second level. And, they're doing a great job of getting off the block as soon as they can, but making sure their guy can hold on. Every time you look, there's at least one lineman already hitting a linebacker.
2nd down and 4, bobbled snap. Ramirez goes to collect it from his own 36, makes 3 guys miss, and somehow turns it into a 2-yard gain.
Yeah,
Actually, more than that.
That went from a disaster to a first down real quick, and what really hurt more, again, they went straight back to the power action, right guard, right tackle are pulling. Essentially, he's running into no man's land. There's no blockers out there outside of a wide receiver. Good job by him by breaking off a couple tackles and getting the first down there on an almost very disastrous play.
That is the most eventful Four Seasons Mechanical first down of the night for sure. Visit them on the web at fourseasonsmechanical.com. They're in the plus territory again. Another broken play. Ramirez, or check that, it was Reddick. With Ramirez out there blocking, it's only a 1-yard gain. Just miscommunication in the backfield there a couple times in this series.
Yeah, I think it's a broken play, but at the same breath, if the running back's already running to block, I don't know how it could be a broken play because the running back, if you hear, hey, it's an option look, hey, I've got an option, but he was sprinting straight to get to an outside linebacker defensive end to make a huge block.
This is the 9th play of this drive. The first 8 have all been run plays. Turley gets outside the edge. Turley's got a first down inside the 35-yard line.
Did a great job of reading his blocks there, keeping it on the outside. Wide receiver there made a really good block. That was number 16. I'm trying to pull up the
Hamza Issa, the
really
wide receiver.
Really great block there by him on the outside, holding his own one-on-one against the DB, really making it easier on the running back. Wouldn't be shocked if you see more of a triple option look here with the fullback essentially in the backfield.
That was good for 14 yards. They go back with Turley right up the gut. Jacob Turley inside the 15 with another first down.
And it was exactly what I just said, a triple option look. Your fullback that's lined up on the side is going to be your pitch guy. So it's a triple option dive. You know, you can hand it off to the running back that's going up the middle. If you don't like what you see if the defensive end's chasing him, you keep it, you read the outside linebacker, and you give your guy a chance to either have a huge play on the pitch or even up the middle right there.
That one was good for 20 on a first down carry. It's Turley again, waits for a hole, lowers his shoulder to the 6-yard line.
That's some power running, and again, you know, this offense has done their job. They are burning time off the clock. We're under 2 minutes right now in the first half. I mean, you're keeping your defense off the field, giving them a bit of a break, but also making it harder where Valpo is going to have to make a big play to get a touchdown before half.
So call it 6.5-yard pickup there. Scoreboard is going to say 2nd down and 4, but it's closer to 2nd and 3. Reddick pulls it on the option look, and he gets stuffed. Nice job closing up the gap there, Sam Thorgren, the senior.
Looks like he might have gotten at least a yard out of it, but again, defense did a good job there. They, you know, that time on the read option, they read the running back, but they called the right play. They had an outside linebacker blitzing to replace the DN that was essentially reading the running back. Stop Reddick for a short game, but this is definitely going to be 4th down territory for this Lake Central offense. You want to try to tie this game before half.
From the 5-yard line, they go back with Jacob Turley, turning the corner. Turley is down at the 1.
And there's that midline read option that I talked about that they ran last week. Midline's a little bit different. You're reading an inside defensive lineman. If he's sitting, you're handing it off. And again, I mean, it can lead to a huge gain just like we saw. Now we're going to see a tush push again.
Flags down as he is in for the touchdown for the time being.
I think a running back may have got a little bit of a head start to go push him. It's going to be illegal motion.
It is. So that'll push him back to the 6.
But the good news is you got 29 seconds left. I mean, it's 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. You get a decent run here.
They have 2 timeouts as well.
Yeah, they have 2 timeouts. I mean, that's huge. Run the ball here. If you don't get the yardage you like, you can call a timeout. Go call a timeout before the clock starts.
Avoid the runoff there as well. So with 25 seconds left, they might add time back onto this clock.
Yeah, because I don't think the clock necessarily starts after an illegal motion penalty because it's not a loss of downage. Yep.
They're going to put it back. They're going to add 4.3 seconds left. Lake Central will have 1 timeout. They burned it.
That's a huge 4.3 seconds. You know, I don't hate the timeout because you want to get your guys together, calm them down. You've had a long drive. I mean, you're going on almost a 6-minute drive at this point. And you just want to make sure that you get the right play call in, calm your guys down a little bit. Like, hey, I know it's been a long drive, but we have an opportunity to be tied at halftime right now and have an opportunity to not have our defense have to make another play before the half.
And Valparaiso won the toss to further options, so they'll get the ball coming out of the break as well. So this is a huge opportunity to ultimately avoid a potential 14-point swing.
Yeah, I mean, a 14-point swing going into half, and then also they get the ball back. You can almost make it a 21-point swing or some 17-point swing at that point.
So here we go. 1st down and goal from the 6. They'll flip it out. It's wide open, and it's a touchdown for Logan Rowden.
A little bit of a RPO, it looks like there. That's not something you see often at the high school level because it looked like he had the opportunity to hand it off. If not, I mean, it was a great play action call there by the offense, and I like it. I mean, again, you haven't thrown the ball yet on this drive. That is the time to call the pass play because you have ran consecutive run after run after run after run. They're thinking, hey, they're going to keep sticking with it. Now you catch them off guard with a little quick wide receiver screen, essentially.
Especially at the 6-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, that's the place to call it. If you're going to call a screen when you don't normally call them or a play-action screen, that's the time to call it.
Olenkamp drills it through, and we are tied up at 7 with 23.9 seconds left here in the first half. Great play calling from Pete Koulianos as well as his entire coaching staff. I'm sure Dylan Paul, the recruiting coordinator and quarterbacks coach, probably had a say in that selection as well, as Reddick picks up just his 4th passing touchdown on the year.
Yeah, and that's a huge passing touchdown because, again, now you're tied 7-7. Valpo still has 23 seconds left, and I believe they still have at least 1 timeout left, or 2 timeouts left. Sorry, Valpo has 2 timeouts left. Here's the key. You can play cushion because you don't want to give up a deep play or a big play, but in the same breath, you can't give too much cushion because if you give this team an opportunity to get a quick little comeback route, curl route, something like that, they're able to pick up a first down or step out of bounds and save some timeouts.
And that's something that happened last week. They were only down 7
to 6 last week, yeah.
Right before the end of the first half against Maryville, they went soft to your point, and it cost them as Maryville drove down the field and scored right before the half, and pretty much the game, Maryville got the second half kickoff, scored on their first possession, and ran away with the thing.
Yeah, I mean, and again, Valpo's offense tonight has been very similar to Maryville's. They don't run the hurry-up like Maryville does, but they do like to throw the ball quite a bit tonight. So, they're going to look for that soft coverage again that Lake Central's been showing. But again, Lake Central's also done a really good job of bending but not breaking on these drives that have been longer drives.
They have forced a turnover on downs near midfield, and they have blocked a 30-yard field goal the last 2 sequences. This is a Quintel kickoff. This kickoff and all kickoffs are presented by Quintel Incorporated. Quintel Incorporated, handling jobs of all sizes throughout the country since 1994. Olenkamp does his job, drives it through, and allows for no return there from J.Q. Varnado.
Yeah, you definitely want to get a touchback here or make it essentially you could also pooch kick it or kick a squib if you want. But, I mean, if your kicker's got the leg, take the touchback. Now you've got an offense starting on their own 20. 23 seconds left. It's still plenty of time to drive down the field essentially and get in field goal range. But again, you already had a kick block, so kicker might have some shaken confidence after that one. So you're going to put him in a position to hit a field goal to go up before half.
The benefit of not having the NFL touchback rules right there on full display. Hosek, screen pass. It's caught by Lubbock. Stays in bounds and is taken down at the 26-yard line. Timeout Valparaiso with 16 seconds left.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked on the screen pass call there. Typically, you want to run a quick out route or you want to run, a quick developing route where a wide receiver can get out of bounds, save some time on the clock, as well as save some timeouts. I mean, you've got 1 timeout left now and 16 seconds left. Essentially, you could probably see Valpo try to get into Hail Mary range at this point. I don't think they're going to have enough time to get into field goal range unless a huge play happens.
So it'll be 2nd down and 4 out of the break. Valparaiso still has 1 timeout remaining following this conversation here. I was really intrigued that Lubbock chose to cut inside rather than try to get out of bounds and save the timeout.
The reason he cut inside was it was more of a tunnel screen setup. You've got he's an outside receiver. He's flowing in, trying to get behind his other blockers, hoping to make a huge play, break off. You see it all the time with tunnel screens. So, I mean, again, I get why, but this isn't really necessarily the time to call a tunnel screen.
Lake Central brings the heat, and that one is caught along the sidelines, and Bernard will step out of bounds with first down yardage at the 39-yard line. It's a first down brought to you by Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville, your Northwest Indiana heating and air conditioning specialist. That one good for 13 yards.
Yeah, and this is Lake Central running that soft coverage, obviously trying to prevent a big play, but if you're going to run it, you got to run it from 5 to 10 yards. Can't let anything past 10 yards.
They go back to Bernard on that little quick hitter, that 10-yard out route. It's incomplete with 7 seconds left on the clock. Vikings still have a timeout remaining. If they can find a way to get into field goal range and have some resemblance of clock left, but with 7 seconds seems unlikely.
It's going to be very hard because now you're essentially putting your offense in a situation they've got to hit a big play here and be out of bounds like that or go down right away so you can call the timeout.
And there's all sorts of commotion at the line. It's a false start for Valparaiso.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to make this a little bit harder to get in field goal range for sure.
So false start will send them back to the 34. And now this will be, give or take about 66 yards to the house. It
is possible. I mean, we've seen some big plays come from this Valpo offense. It's just got Got to break a couple tackles to get to the end zone for him.
So now you're looking at a deep pass and a whole bunch of laterals and prayers. Hosek going deep down the sideline for Vennard, and it's broken up. Great coverage from Lucas Embry, the senior leader of his secondary. He didn't play at all last season as he broke his leg during a summer scrimmage. But he's a leader on this team because of the way he fought back through adversity, through the pain, to get back to playing football here in 2025. And this coaching staff loves him, and he comes up with the biggest PBU of the game so far.
Yeah, that's a huge pass breakup because, I mean, again, it's one-on-one coverage. You're essentially on an island. I mean, you've got 4 safeties deep, but most of the time they're going to be flowing to the strong side where you've got 3 receivers.
And they're going to run it up the middle with Gage Finley as the clock expires, and that will end the first half. Finley took off about half the chains there, but doesn't matter. They need to find a way to get to the end zone. So we're tied after a half at 7 apiece. Lake Central's defense, the big story in this one, have forced a turnover on downs and have blocked, as it now stands, it would have been a go-ahead field goal. Their offense, in turn, has had so many good drives, they finally capitalized right before the half. So it's 7-7. Valpo will get the ball out of the half with a chance to try to take a lead, which has been a struggle for both of these teams coming out of the breaks this season. We'll step aside for a couple of minutes. We'll have the halftime show for you. We'll talk about the first half, keys for second half, as well as some scores throughout the region. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the Nika contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
If you are injured in a worksite accident or hurt by a defective product, go with the guy that has a proven track record litigating these cases. Otto Schragle, a principal partner at the Allen Law Group, will make sure those responsible for hurting you are held to account for their negligence. With multiple offices in Indiana and Illinois, you could reach them at 219-465-6292 or reach them out on the web at www.kenallenlaw.com.
Hi, my name is Mark Macknick. I'm the owner of Mark Macknick CPA firm in Highland, Indiana on Kennedy Avenue. I've been working with Region Sports for years now. Started working with Chris years ago, just on some special projects, advertising here and there. After a while, kind of increased the advertising. You know, mainly was doing it for the community involvement. It's such a great network and program they do with the high school sports. But as time went by, I started getting on there more frequently, and then the phone starts ringing, and I was getting calls all the time from people. Hey, I saw your ad on so-and-so football game. I saw your ad on a basketball game. And it's really helped my business. It's increased the volume. You know, we're a tight community in Northwest Indiana, sports-wise, and just a lot of community involvement. So that's mainly why I got into it. Yeah, I remember watching one game. It was a basketball game, and I think there was a little bit of an altercation. And as the altercation was happening, my ad was right on the bottom, and someone typed in, "I wonder what Mark Macknick's thinking right now." And I was thinking, wow, this is awesome. It's really been a great feature for my business. It's the only advertising I do. I don't advertise anywhere else other than Region Sports. You know, it's for the business, but mainly for the involvement with the community. I played high school baseball here in Highland, and ever since I've been advertising on Region Sports, a lot of my old coaches are now my clients. A lot of my old teammates come in here. My recommendation, if you're a business here in Northwest Indiana, I think Region Sports is, for your money, it's one of the best places that you can advertise. I mean, I can advertise on billboards. I could do anywhere I want to. And I choose Region Sports, mainly because I get a lot of feedback. especially on the high school level. A lot of the parents, if they can't make a game, they're watching it online. They're watching a replay, the grandparents. So it's done wonders for my business, and it's my go-to for advertising. It's the only spot I would advertise. So if you're a business owner in the area, really look into advertising on Region Sports. It's going to be well worth your money, and you'll make tenfold on what you're spending. Region Sports Network, they're the only game in town, but they're more than just a game.
At Strachan Van Til, we believe grocery shopping should be simple. Now, shopping is easier than ever with our new and improved website. Find what you need fast. Browse your favorite products, add them to your cart, and check out in just a few quick steps. Choose between convenient in-store pickup or let us handle the heavy lifting. From our shelves to your doorstep, skip the lines, shop your way, and spend more time on what matters most. With our rewards program, enjoy incredible savings and personalized offers every time you shop. Shop online now at strachanvantil.com or download our app today.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowd Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowd Companies, insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialists.
If you are injured in a worksite accident or hurt by a defective product, go with the guy that has a proven track record litigating these cases. Otto Schragle, a principal partner at the Allen Law Group, will make sure those responsible for hurting you are held to account for their negligence. With multiple offices in Indiana and Illinois, you could reach them at 219-465-6292 or reach them out on the web at www.kenallenlaw.com.
Welcome back here, halftime on the Region Sports Network, 7-7. We got a great game here at Valparaiso. Low-scoring affair. It's a battle of the trenches, which is something that I think both of these coaches expected. But I don't think the fans would have expected it. There was a lot of shouts during the break of, wow, that was a quick first half. It's been a game in the trenches all day long.
Yeah, it's been a game in the trenches, and especially, Valpo hasn't had many incomplete passes tonight. So, that's definitely helped speed up the game clock a little bit. And a lot of, you've had one or two big plays. So, again, that took some, not really time off the clock, but you've had a Lake Central offense. They've been on the field for at least a quarter of time alone. They've been on the field at least 12, 13 minutes. That's huge.
Here's a fun stat for you. Valparaiso has run 21 total plays in that first half. Lake Central ran it 28 times in the first half. They ran 7 more rushing plays than Valparaiso ran total plays. And keep in mind, you have the passing touchdown in there. They also threw it 4 other occasions. So they've in total have run 33 plays in that first half to Valparaiso's 21.
Either way you cut it, that's a lot of plays in one half of football. You don't typically see a lot of 65, 70 play games, especially at the high school level. And this is on track. We're probably going to be at a total of almost 100 plays in this game if this keeps up. And shout out to Lake Central for definitely keeping with the run game. They've done a good job of not going away from it. They threw the ball a total of 5 times and ran the ball 28 times. They're sticking to their identity, and they're not going away from it. You know, they could have panicked after giving up a score on the Valpo first drive that started in short field position. But outside of that, Lake Central's defense, I mean, they have been the stars of this first half for this Lake Central team. Not only did they have a turnover on downs, had a blocked field goal, prevented Valpo from scoring before the end of the first half and trying to double dip in the second half. So, I mean, again, this is a Lake Central defense in the first half, second half of every game has been really outstanding, and the offense answered the call after that last stop. You know, they drove down the field, got a touchdown, tied it up. They really showed the defense, hey, you can keep having the confidence in us. We're going to drive down this field, and we're either going to run off the clock or we're going to score. Like, there's no in-betweens.
How mentally tough is it for this Valparaiso defense where, I mean, they ran 33 plays, 28 runs Lake Central did. You know the run is coming, and they really haven't stopped it.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, you know, the runs they've stopped have been the non-option plays. You know, the option has been a huge part of Lake Central's dominance on the run that first half. But, you know, the bigger thing with that, too, when you are going out there and having, you know, 33 plays in a game in one half and 28 of them are runs. I mean, I've been on the other side as a defensive lineman playing against a very run-heavy team. I've also played on a very run-heavy team, so I've been on both sides, and it can be very taxing, especially as a defensive tackle, defensive lineman, where, you know, and what Lake Central is doing is they're doubling. They're doing combo blocks to get to the second level. I mean, that can be tiring when you're getting doubled or sometimes even just hit on a pull side block. It can wear you down, and, you know, you see it all the time at college, high school. The teams that are able to run the ball efficiently and keep up with it really puts the defense down, and it can cause to tear, not necessarily wear and tear, but just wear on a body and it wear on, you know, your energy.
At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll name the Crowd Companies Lantern Man superhero of the game. Crowd Companies, the insurance professionals. We'll step aside for a few moments. The hometown scoreboard update is up next. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craftworkers for Indiana Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craftworkers for Indiana Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the perfect place or get the best deal for your property. Call today at 219-406-7195 and take the first step toward your real estate goals. Contact Brent Wright, the right way to buy and sell real estate.
When it comes to your money, you deserve more than just numbers on a page. You deserve someone who sees the full picture. Meet Mark Machnick, one of Northwest Indiana's most trusted accounting professionals. Whether you're running a business, planning for retirement, or just trying to make sense of tax season, Mark Machnick, located in Highland, makes it simple, personal, and believe it or not, painless. Contact Mark and his team today at 219-595-5290. Mark Machnick, CPA.
Life isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet moments that matter the most. Of effort, of a dream taking root. And behind those moments, there's trust. Thank you for trusting Centier Bank with those moments and making us a part of your story. Thank you for the opportunity to earn your trust.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blythe. This is where the athlete shops.
Welcome back. Halftime rolls on in a 7-7 game between Valparaiso and Lake Central. Time now for the Strachan Van Til live scoreboard update. Follow all of tonight's region football scores live on the hometown scoreboard, streaming on youtube.com/Region Sports, facebook.com/Region Sports, and regionsports.com, courtesy of your neighborhood Strachan Van Til. Shop online for delivery or curbside pickup at strachanvantil.com. Starting in the Duneland Conference, Portage and LaPorte. The Indians of Portage trying to find their first win of the season. They're 0-8. They lost to this Valparaiso team at home last week. LaPorte, meanwhile, just trying to get back and get things going in the right direction. On paper for LaPorte, it would seem like it's a get-right game, but it's anything but that. It's 0-0 after a quarter right there in LaPorte.
Yeah, and that's two very run-heavy teams, and LaPorte's got a really good running back in Reed Raymond. And, you know, me and Quincy Bell made a joke a couple weeks ago when LaPorte was playing Maryville, and I mean, Reed Raymond is all over the field if you haven't seen a LaPorte game this year. He plays defensive end, quarterback, running back, even goes out as a punter sometimes too. So I mean, he's all over the field, and you know that's a really huge game for Portage. You know, you want to carry momentum, especially with having Penn on the schedule next week in the playoffs.
Yeah, opportunity. We were talking about it off air about how important and how cool it would be should Portage win to get that for their seniors. Unfortunately, miracles happen. That's why you play the games. But the writing appears to be on the wall of what could happen next week against Penn. Tri-County and North Newton scoreless after a quarter. LaVille Lancers up 14-0 at home over the Whiting Oilers. That is definitely the definition of a run-heavy football game between those two teams. Boone Grove at home trails Bishop Knoll 7-6. They're in the second quarter there. Westside Cougars and Calumet Warriors, 7 o'clock kickoff, no score between those two sides. Here in the Duneland Conference, in our Enigenberg Home Improvement top 10 ranking, second-ranked Maryville hosting 9th-ranked Chesterton. They're in the second quarter, nearing halftime. It's Maryville 21, Chesterton 7. No big shockers there so far.
Yeah, I mean, Maryville, you know, I talked about it earlier. They have a very high-powered offense. Their quarterback before last week was already over, I believe, 2,300 yards passing on the season. Like, he has been the leading passer in the region all season. They run a lot of hurry-up offense, which when you're a run-heavy they're a very balanced attack team. You know, quarterback can take off and run. They've got a good stable of running backs. Wide receivers are really athletic and good. And, you know, it's a hard offense to keep up with when you've got that many athletes on a team, and then especially you get into a hurry-up offense, it can wear down on a defense real fast.
Another Region Sports Network top 10 battle between 6th-ranked Wheeler and 5th-ranked Griffith. The game at Wheeler, the Griffith Panthers lead 14-10 right before the half there, so that could be a big-time road win for the Panthers. Battle at Hammond taking place tonight. Hanover Central against Hammond Central, 14-0 Hanover Central. Bowman Academy, it was a rough showing for them at home in a Thursday night matchup against the Knox Redskins. Knox going on the road, and you are hearing me right when I say this, winning 64-0. Oh,
that is a heartbreaker, especially right before playoffs. I mean, it's huge for Knox because now you're going into playoffs, just had a shutout game and put up 64 points. But, I mean, that is a huge point disparity.
The other game in the Duneland Conference, the last one taking place tonight between first-ranked Crown Point at home against 7th-ranked Michigan City. They're nearing halftime there in Crown Point, and Michigan City leads 7-0.
That is a shocking score. I mean, as we said earlier, Crown Point's been one of the most dominant teams in the region, have been undefeated in the regular season, I believe, the last 3 years, and they've made it to at least semi-state the past 3 years as well. So, you know, that is a huge thing, and that's huge for Michigan City because now if you can hold on and beat a team that hasn't lost a regular season game in that long right before playoffs, you're carrying a lot of momentum, especially a team that, as I said, you know, you've seen in semi-state and state the past 3 years.
Lastly, we'll get you some final scores before the break. I mean, we'll keep an eye and we'll give you some updates throughout the course of the second half of that one. That, I'm sure, has a lot of eyes throughout the region on that one. Munster on the road at Kankakee Valley, up 14-0 at the half. And that will do it for our halftime scoreboard update. That was a scoreboard update courtesy of your neighborhood Strack and Van Til Food Market. Strack and Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. We'll take our final break of halftime when we come back. The keys to the second half and kickoff. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
At Strack & Van Til, we believe grocery shopping should be simple. Now, shopping is easier than ever with our new and improved website. Find what you need fast. Browse your favorite products, add them to your cart, and check out in just a few quick steps. Choose between convenient in-store pickup or let us handle the heavy lifting. From our shelves to your doorstep, skip the lines, shop your way, and spend more time on what matters most. With our rewards program, enjoy incredible savings and personalized offers every time you shop. Shop online now at strackandvantil.com or download our app today.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowd Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowd Companies, insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialists.
If you are injured in a worksite accident or hurt by a defective product, go with the guy that has a proven track record litigating these cases. Otto Schragle, a principal partner at the Allen Law Group, will make sure those responsible for hurting you are held to account for their negligence. With multiple offices in Indiana and Illinois, you could reach them at 219-465-6292 or reach them out on the web at www.kenallenlaw.com.
At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll name the Boilermakers Local 374 Blue Collar Player of the Game. Brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374. 7-7 game, couple minutes till second half kickoff. Captain Later, Chris Figg with you. Time now for our keys to the second half. We'll start with Valparaiso. What do they need to do in the second half to find a way to get a win here? It'll be a gritty one, but find a way to get a win at home.
They really need to force a 3-and-out or a quick defensive drive. You know, I mean, that's been the biggest backbreaker for them. You've got a team that's run 33 plays on you, taking up 13, 14 minutes of clock game time. That is, I mean, that's a huge amount of time, and now you're giving your offense a lot less time to get down the field and score, which we saw they had a 3-play drive to open up. But outside of that, I mean, this Lake Central defense has held that offense to only 7 points. I mean, they've given up chunk plays or a yardage play here, but they've bend and they don't break. And, I mean, that's all you can ask from your defense.
Yeah, we'll start now. We'll go over to Lake Central here. The defense has played phenomenal. What does the offense need to do here in the second stanza?
Offense just needs to execute. When they're playing ahead of the sticks, I mean, they are one of the most unstoppable offenses. As we said, they've ran 33 plays, 28 run plays. When they are running the ball effectively and it's staying ahead of the chains, they are doing everything they can to not only drain the clock, but, I mean, again, they're giving themselves a chance to score. If you take away that opening half turnover, potentially they score there. They could be up 14-7. But also if they take the points and kick the field goal instead of trying to go for it on 4th and 3, you're up 10-7 at halftime potentially. So, when you've got those opportunities for a field goal or a scoring opportunity, even though it's not the one that you want, it's not necessarily a touchdown, you got to take them in a close game like this.
Make sure to stay with us after the game, and we'll name the Proud to be Union Play of the Game, presented by Ironworkers Local 395. Ironworkers Local 395. To find out how you can become a Union Ironworker, visit ironworkers395.com. So Valparaiso will receive the second half kickoff from Lake Central. Opportunity to do everything that Chris just talked about. Chris has been nailing all the predictions here throughout the course of this football game and throughout the course of this first half. So maybe a little eye in the sky can give the Vikings the medicine they need here as we begin the second half.
Hopefully I can get as good as Tony Romo his first year, where I just start calling out, hey, they're going to run this coverage. They're running this play right now. I know sometimes that can be boring to viewers, but, when you've got an offense that is going to run the ball as heavily as a Lake Central offense, it makes it a lot easier to predict what they're going to run at times.
I feel like you could pull the Romo. They're going to run it to the right here whenever Lake Central has the football. Just saying.
We'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot one drive. See how it goes. Valpo, I don't know. They could do a jet sweep, could do a quick pass, could run up the middle. They've been unpredictable for the most part.
We're all set to go here. Second half in this fast-paced football game. Last regular season game for each side. Pair of two-win teams in search of win number 3. This is a Quintel kickoff. This kickoff and all kickoffs are presented by Quintel Incorporated. Quintel Incorporated, handling jobs of all sizes throughout the country since 1994. Olenkamp to boot it away. Varnado and Parisi, the deep men for the Vikings in the green tops, green helmets, white bottoms. They'll see black tops, white pants, white bottoms. Second half begins. And it will be Varnado. And we'll take it from the 10. Blockers out in front. Somehow escapes. The pile of Lake Central tacklers goes backwards. Gets driven down, and he'll be taken out of bounds around the 22-yard line. A flag came in late for, I would assume, a horse collar tackle.
Yeah, it's going to be a horse collar tackle. He wrapped him up around the head and neck area. It's going to be an easier penalty to call tonight. But, again, prevented a touchdown.
They
pulled the flag.
Not backwards. By rule, that is not a horse collar.
Wow. Oh. I like how the ref was able to explain why on the intercom why it wasn't a horse collar, because I know sometimes as a fan when you're watching, you see a horse collar play, they pick up the flag and can't talk, and you're just like, what the heck happened? Like, why are they not throwing the flag? Why are they picking it up? But again, that's a huge touchdown-saving tackle. There was really no one else out there. Kind of a risky move, bouncing it back to the outside. If he had stayed where he was at, he would have had it. I think they would have started around the 30, 31.
And also, if you're looking at it from the perspective of Lake Central, even if that would have been a horse collar tackle, you'll take the horse collar tackle off potentially giving up the kickoff return.
Yeah, especially because it's a defense that, again, has held a pretty good Valpo offense to only 7 points in the first half. You're looking to capitalize on that first half performance.
Somehow 48 seconds ran off the clock during that entire exchange, so they had to reset the clock already back up to 11:52. It's first down and 10 from the Valparaiso 22-yard line. Keep in mind, they only ran 21 plays in the first half to Lake Central's 34. Chase Lovick, the motion man, they fake it to him. They go with Gage Finley, and he is gobbled up after a 3-yard pickup.
Yeah, and it looks like they've gone to more of a 3-3 stack defense this second half. First half, it looked like they were running more of a 3-4, almost a 4-2 essentially with a walked-up outside linebacker. They switched to a 3-3 stack, which has mutual benefits in both the run and pass game, because now you've got 3 linebackers. More than likely, you can get some miscommunication between a center and guard trying to figure out if you're double-teaming or triple-teaming the head-up guy.
Jet touch pass, Jimmy Parisi trying to turn the corner, and he will pick up a couple on second down and 7. By the way, the last tackle on the first down run was made by Mason Johnson. That is his first career varsity tackle.
That's a huge thing, especially, it's a big game to have it right before the playoffs next week. And, again, that's something that you're getting involved in the game, and also, build some confidence for a player that hasn't really been able to maybe get on the stat sheet as much. But I'm sure he's been making a difference in other ways on this defense.
Big third down here. 5 yards to go for Valparaiso. They show pressure, and they bring it as Hosek goes over the middle and in and out of the hands of Chase Lovick. He was wide open. with plenty of green grass in front of him with the first down. Instead, Valparaiso goes 3 and out on their opening second half possession.
Yeah, and that's huge by this Lake Central defense that we talked about. Has been so dominant in that first half of just not giving up the big play and also not necessarily just giving up points. So a huge stop coming out of the first half. You scored right before the end of the first half. Defense comes out, gets a 3 and out. Now, again, you get to send your offense back out that's potentially going to run 30 more plays.
Lucas Lynn, Logan Round, and the deep men awaiting the boot from Trevor Faudner. And they will both let it bounce. It'll go all the way inside the 20. It does kick back, and it'll be down at around the 19-yard line. Simple miscommunication there, and they get a friendly bounce from the football gods.
Yeah, definitely a friendly bounce for them there. So now, they're going to start on their own 19. I'm interested to see if Lake Central is going to stick with that read option game that worked so good for them in the first half, or if they're going to switch it up and try to just do some more power running.
In that dominant possession-wise first half, 82% of their plays in the first half were on the ground. They start on their own 19 to begin their opening series in the second half in the pistol formation as well. They fake it to Turley. Reddick calls his own number, gets outside the edge, and that's a good first down run for the quarterback of LC.
And there's that read option look again. This time it looks like Valpo's going to make Reddick make more plays with his legs so far on this drive. And again, it is one play, but in the same breath, they changed their kind of scheme with the option. Instead of, hey, you're reading the quarterback, now you're reading the running back.
4 yards there for the QB, who averages just under 6 yards a carry, leading this Lake Central offense. They go back with Jacob Turley, and he gets to the 26-yard line, and here comes third down and short.
Yeah, staying ahead of the sticks right here, and it was a little bit of a delayed handoff. Looked like it might have been almost an option read, but definitely a delayed handoff. It kind of reminded me of I think it was 5 years ago, Wake Forest was famous for that for a second. They would, at the last second, pull it, throw it, RPO it. That was back when, as I like to call him, Mr. Lifetime, Sam Hartman was quarterback for them. He always looks like a villain in a Lifetime movie is what I always said.
Great hair, though.
Great hair, yeah.
Great hair.
Wish I had that hair.
Me too. 3rd and 3. Reddick pulls it from Turley and is short on the intended pass.
A little bit of play action there. I don't hate the call. It's 3rd and short. They're expecting you to run and potentially have a tush push on a 4th and short or even get the first down. Again, guys wide open in the middle, just unfortunately not able to get the pass there. But that's the Valpo defense doing exactly what I said they needed to do. Quick 3 and out. You prevented an offense that had primary possession in the first half. You held them to 3 plays to start out, and you still got almost 9 minutes left. It's 9:28 left in this third quarter.
How about this? We had consecutive 3 and outs from both teams. That punt, not what Olin Kemp was wanting. It's going to give Valparaiso field position on the plus side for their second series. As they'll take over from, call it the 48.5.
It's about where they had the ball on their first drive, I believe. Might be a little bit farther up. But,
mark it actually, you're right. 46, or 45 rather.
Yeah, and that's huge. Again, this Valpo offense took advantage of short field the last time they had a short field situation. Let's see if they can handle it again this time, or if this Lake Central defense holds true and gets another 3 and out, or just a bend and don't break kind of series.
Lake Central has struggled in the second half this season as Gage Finley gets the opening play handoff and picks up 3.
It's a big 3 yards there, again, not necessarily sticking with what's been working. Again, they've been running the ball pretty effectively, been passing the ball effectively. Just this Lake Central defense has done a really good job of preventing a scoring play, preventing a field goal, getting a turnover on downs.
Reisky, the tackle. He had that touchdown-saving tackle in the second quarter. And they go back with Finley. Blockers out in front, but once again, Lake Central plugged the gaps nicely. 3 different white shirts in the area to limit the damage to 3.
Yeah, defensive line did a good job of winning at the point of attack there. Only gave up, I believe, a 2-yard gain there, maybe a 3-yard gain. But again, now it's going to be you're still ahead of the sticks if you're Valpo. I wouldn't be shocked if they decide to run the ball and have it like a potential 4th and short situation if they don't get the first down and go for it. But also, again, this has been a passing attack that's done really well. It looks like the Lake Central defense is going to play a little bit more tight coverage instead of the cushion.
Hosek, plenty of time, flushed out to his right, waiting for a receiver downfield, and it's caught! Loving!
Little toe tap catch right there. That's good on Sundays right there. 2 feet in easily.
At the 13-yard line, navigates the sideline well and moves the sticks on 3rd down and short. It's our first down in the second half, and it's brought to you by Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville, your Northwest Indiana heating and air conditioning specialists.
Yeah, that's a huge play there. You know, now you got a 1st and 10. I mean, only 14 yards away from the end zone. Again, Valpo's taken advantage of this short field position so far.
When they've started on their own side of the field, they haven't found the end zone yet. That pass is caught. Parisi shakes off the tackle from Reisky, stays on his feet, and Parisi is down at the 2.
That's a good run after the catch by him there. Looked like he was going to get brought down right away. Lake Central read the screen perfectly. Can't ask much more from the defense other than just make sure you wrap up and bring the guy to the ground. But good job by him breaking off a tackler, able to get more yards out of it.
That one was good for 11. So the last 2 plays have gone for a combined 37 yards. They go Finley up the middle, and he will be upended at the 1.
It's just like Central's defense line, again, doing a good job of winning at the point of attack. And here's a big thing. He's got to come off the field now because his helmet came off during the play. So he's got to take a play off. That's been their primary running back tonight, so that's a huge thing for them.
And it'll be Cooper Gear, the 5'10 freshman, will come in and replace him. Had no rushing yards on just 1 attempt, a career low for him last week at Portage, granted small sample size being a freshman.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great time to get that second carry in for a touchdown.
They have Parisi on the motion man trying to turn the corner, and he did not get there. That was well played by the LC defense, and now here comes 3rd and goal from the 1.
LC's defense did a great job of just, they read it from the get. They saw it was a jet touch pass. I mean, essentially played, kind of try to just guess what they were doing, hoping it was because they could have easily handed it off. Now it looks like we're going to get a QB sneak.
They go Hosek up the middle. He breaks the plane of the goal line.
I think we're going to get another
false start.
False start.
This is going to come back. I think they're going to get it actually on the freshman Gear, very similar to what we saw with Lake Central in the first half. It was
running
Gear
back
who
jumped
moved
a little bit too early, just trying to push him.
So that'll bring it to 3rd and goal from the 6.
So now, I mean, again, Lake Central's defense, bend, don't break. Get the stop here, make them kick a field goal. You already blocked one. You're essentially could be in the kicker's head after that one blocked field goal, depending on if it was a short or a line drive kick, or even if it was just getting past the offensive line.
Keep in mind, Faulkner hasn't made a field goal this season. He's 0 for 2 now, following the block in the first half. Parisi goes in motion. Hosek lofts over the middle. It's caught for a touchdown. It is Sam Bernard, his 2nd of the season, and Valparaiso takes the lead back.
I mean, it looked like Hosek was not going to be able to get the pass off. It sees the pressure coming as he's getting hit, gets the pass off just perfectly enough for his wide receiver to catch it. I mean, heck of a play there by Hosek. Again, you see a defensive lineman running at you as a quarterback. It can be kind of terrifying seeing a big guy running at you and essentially making contact with you as you're trying to throw the ball. So good job by him by not getting worried about the pressure and getting the ball off.
Faulkner, who's now 17 for 19 on PATs this year, on to try to make it a 7-point game, and this time the operation was clean. And the lead is back up to 7 for Valparaiso. They haven't trailed, but they've marked now their largest lead of the game. It's 14-7 Vikings. Both times they've had a short field, they've found their way into the pay dirt.
Yeah, I mean, again, short field position, they take advantage of it every time. So, I mean, again, when you're 2 for 2 on short field position, essentially a change of pace game plan. Because, I mean, it's a 3 and out. You get the ball on a Lake Central side of the field. Earlier it was a fumble in their side of the field. I mean, again, sometimes it's better to go with a quick, deep pass, try to really take the top off the defense because you're going to catch them off guard. They're not thinking a big play is going to happen, and then you just throw it deep and sometimes open. But good job of just handling business there. It was 3rd and 4, able to get that first down, huge first down conversion to the 13, 14-yard line. Great catch, able to capitalize.
7 plays, 45 yards. The big point, as you mentioned, that 26-yard completion on a silent and Chase Levick to really open things up. Set for another Quintel kickoff. This kickoff and all kickoffs are presented by Quintel Incorporated. Quintel Incorporated, handling jobs of all sizes throughout the country since 1994. Lynn and Rowden, the deep men, await from their own 2-yard line. The kick off the right foot of Trevor Faudner. And he sends it through the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, and, touchback is great when you're the kick return team because, one, you don't have to return or worry about, getting tackled as they did earlier on their own 6-7-yard line. Now you get to start at the 20. But, I mean, again, this Lake Central offense, they can't abandon the run just because they're down a score. They need to do what they did earlier, go back to what's working, get back to the option game, mixing a little play action. On that 3rd and goal earlier, funny enough, they both had a infraction that put them at 3rd and 6 essentially on the goal, both throwing touchdowns. But maybe mix it up, throwing some screens.
First play of the drive, Reddick pumps, hesitates, lofts over the middle. It's Rowden. Did he catch it? Yes.
Good catch there by Rowden, going down for the ball. Not the greatest throw by Reddick, but he was able to get it off and get it there for a first down, doing exactly as I was saying, throwing some play action. You've been able to get some good play action plays or even some good rollout runs from the QB. Just stick to what is working.
It's a first down brought to you by Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville, your Northwest Indiana heating and air conditioning specialist. Jacob Turley barrels through Nicholas Fry and picks up 6.
It was almost more of like a power read option because, again, you have the quarterback reading the defensive end, but also you have a pulling guard that's coming. If you've got a 3 technique, which is lined up on the outside shoulder of the guard between the guard and tackle, you have a pulling guard that's essentially going to hit him, open up the gap even more if the running back's getting the ball.
Pistol on 2nd down and 4 for Lake Central. Low snap, Reddick recovers it, burst right up the middle. And a bad play to the start turns into a great result of 6 yards and another Four Seasons Mechanical first down. Brought to you by our friends at Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville. Visit them on the web at fourseasonsmechanical.com.
Again, I mean, Lake Central's done a good job of capitalizing on their own broken plays where it should be a bad situation. Now you've got Reddick that's made a huge play on a broken play, and you also have the young running back that's in the backup have a huge play earlier.
Option look again. It's Turley trying to get to the second level. He gets into Valpo territory and picks up 11 yards on the play. It's good enough for another Four Seasons Mechanical first down. Brought to you by our friends at Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville, your Northwest Indiana heating and air conditioning specialists.
And what's huge about that run, too, is the linebacker had him, right there, wrapped him up. He just lowered the shoulder, brought the hit to him, was able to get through and get another almost 7 yards.
From the 47, Reddick pulls it, gets a block, but gets tripped up as he dives inside the 45.
I think he thought he had a bigger hole there between the tackle and guard. I think if he cuts it to the outside there, the tackle had a good enough block on that defensive end. I think he's able to outrun that defensive end and make a huge play there. But, sometimes it's just doing what Coach tells you at times as well. Coach says, hey, this is the gap you're running through. You run through it if there's a hole. Sometimes defensive end just gets a hand out there.
From the 44 now, here's 2nd down and 7. Play fake, and Reddick is driven back behind the line of scrimmage for a loss. It's a sack for Sam Thorgren.
That is a huge sack right there because now it's 3rd and long. I mean, we've seen them convert on 2 3rd and longs tonight, but also didn't convert on 1. So, again, this is going to be intriguing. If I'm Lake Central right here, I'm doing a roll do a quarterback rollout. Give your quarterback the option. If they're running man coverage, he can take off and sprint, try to get the first down or close to it to where you can go for it on fourth. But at the same time, play action's been working pretty effectively for them too. So maybe see a play action here. I have a feeling you're going to see their top wide receiver streaking down the field here.
And Pete Koulianos, I believe, got the timeout in time before the fall start. Yes, he did. So first of the half for Pete Koulianos, and we'd like to remind you that you should visit regionsports.com, Facebook/RegionSportsNation, Instagram, and Region Sports Network's YouTube for this week's Home Improvement Top 10, presented by Enigenberg Exteriors. Enigenberg Exteriors for all your home's exterior needs. Visit ebergexteriors.com. So 3rd down and 13 coming up from midfield here for an offense that entered the night averaging conversions 34.4% of the time. They've been well above that margin here in this football game tonight. And given the field position, this to me seems, correct me if I'm wrong here, partner, this seems like 4-down territory.
Yeah, and it just depends on what yardage they get here. If they get, to where it's a 4th and 2, I would say 4th and 3 is the farthest. Even 4th and 4 here, you might go for it just because you're in essentially Valpo territory. So if they do get the ball back, they're still starting off with a long field position. But if you don't get yardage here, you've got to punt the ball away. You've got a punter that's got a really great leg on him. Just tell them to take a little bit off, and you could potentially pin them in their own 10.
So fresh off the first sack of the season for Sam Thorgren, here comes 3rd down and 13 from midfield. Trips off to the left in a stack. Shotgun empty here for Reddick. Plenty of time. Climbs the pocket and takes off. Reddick breaking free. 1st down inside the 35, and he's finally dragged down by Nick Fry at the 30.
And that's where Valpo's running a man coverage defense right there. He recognizes it, sees all of his wide receivers and their men are downfield, sees a gap, just takes off and sprints, and he's able to get another huge 1st down with his legs.
20 yards on the play for Cameron Reddick, Lake Central's leading rusher in terms of yards and yards per carry, and the leader in rushing touchdowns. From the 30, it's Turley, spins out of one, and then the second, and Brody Wheeler was there to put him in the turf.
Yeah, that's one of the few times the option game hasn't really worked out well for them. Valpo's defensive lineman, especially the defensive tackle, did a good job of getting off his block as soon as possible and being able to get essentially a stop there, because it's going to be harder for him to cut to the outside with it being such a close to the line read.
So fresh off of a Four Seasons Mechanical 1st down, brought to you by our friends at Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville. Visit them on the web at fourseasonsmechanical.com. 2nd down and 10 from the 30. Reddick on design rollout to his right. Pressure picked up for the moment. Reddick will just fire it out of bounds. That's a smart play, as Reddick avoids what would have been a possible 10 to 12 yard loss.
Just clarifying why they didn't call grounding there, but defensive lineman also got lucky there too. Sometimes a ref will call a roughing the passer there, even though it wasn't a roughing the passer, but ball's gone, slamming the quarterback to the ground. It's a tricky thing. You want to show that you're there, but also you don't want to get that 1st down penalty essentially.
Considering they just converted on 3rd down and 13, 3rd down and 10 from the 30 feels like nothing.
Yeah, this is an offense that tonight has been able to.
Reddick with a free rusher, lofts up for Verna. He's got it inside the 10. Verna drops the ball. It's scooped up and recovered inside the 2 by Logan Rowden, who saves the possession for LC.
That is a huge, huge play there by Rowden. And again, he did a good job. Again, you're thinking your guy's about to not essentially walk in, but fall in for a touchdown. See the ball on the ground, pick it up, and almost get a touchdown yourself off a fumble recovery of 2 yards. It's a good heads-up play and just following the ball.
From inside the 1, right up the middle. Touchdown, Lake Central.
And again, Valpo scores. Lake Central answers with a touchdown of their own. Another long touchdown drive. We've got just over a minute left in this 3rd quarter. And again, a great catch there.
So Reddick picks up his team high 7th rushing touchdown on the year. Well, fresh off the 29-yard completion of Frankie Bird, obviously no advancement on fumbles at the high school level. So now here they're a TJ Olencamp extra point away from knotting it up with 74 seconds left in the third quarter. High snap collected, and Olencamp drives it through with a flag from the umpire.
It's going to be roughing the snapper, I think.
I'll wait for confirmation from our officiating crew here in the Duneland Conference. I'm going to take Chris's word for it, though. He's been perfect tonight so far. And I believe they're asking if they want to enforce it on the kickoff.
Typically, a roughing the snapper, they enforce on the extra point and give them a 2-point opportunity, but they might just be taking the 14 and take it on the. I don't know if you can necessarily opt to take it on the kickoff instead.
Let's find out. Here's our official.
Roughing the center. That penalty is a 15-yard penalty and will be assessed on the kickoff.
So it will be enforced on the kickoff there. So we are tied up with 74 seconds left here in the third quarter. And we remind you, especially in a game like this where there's been so many crazy, wacky moments, that at the end of the week, check out the IBEW Local 697 electrifying plays from this week's football action. Visit regionsports.com, Facebook/RegionSportsNation, or on Instagram. The electrifying plays presented by IBEW Local 697. Visit IBEW697.org to find out how you can start a career as a union electrician. So Lake Central, talk about a methodical drive going right down the field. 80-yard drive as well.
Was it a 10-play drive or 11?
11-play, 80-yard drive for the Indians. And
again, you take some time off the clock. Now, if you're the special teams coach right here, you're telling your kicker, pooch it. Because right now, you're kicking from their 45. If you pooch it, put on, let's say, the 15-10, you've got your kickoff team running full steam ahead. You're probably stopping them either close to the 15 or you're just kicking it through the end zone.
And he will kick it right through, and it is split the upright. It won't count for anything on the scoreboard, but nonetheless, Olencamp getting some 55-yard field goal practice in there.
Yes, he is. Might need it later tonight with as close as this game has been.
So it'll be first and 10 Valpo, third drive of the half, beg your pardon, from their own 20. Both times in this half they've started from their own from their own side of the field. They have not scored. Both of their touchdown drives began on the plus side of the field. So keep that in mind here as we near the fourth quarter. First down and 10. Finley the sidecar. Hosek on a straight drop back. Looking over the middle. It's a line drive, and it's caught by Chase Lovick, and they give him a catch at the 32-yard line. Good for 12 yards and a Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville. First down. Visit them on the web at fourseasonsmechanical.com.
Yeah, and you make it hard on the ref making the call because they're only getting the back angle. We don't have instant replay in high school. Don't have any kind of review process. If it's roll to catch, it's roll to catch, and it was a great catch by him going down for it. But it looks like Lake Central sticking with this 3-3 stack, but they keep shifting their defensive line to the weak side, essentially.
They play a base 3-3-5. There's a check down, and it's batted down at the line of scrimmage by Isaiah Alvarez. He's been very busy tonight on that weak side of the formation.
Yeah, definitely. And, like I said, every time they've been lining up in this more of a 3-3 stack, they're shifting to the weak side. So they're moving their strong side defensive end essentially into a head-up 5 technique on the tackle, and they're shifting their defensive tackle in the middle into a shade on the weak side of the center. So now you've got a more of an even front, but it's going to be strong side right for the defense.
Finley motions out wide. He pumps that way. He goes underneath, and it's dropped. Venard, the intended target. He did not make a football move before the ball came out of his mitts, and here comes third down and 10. Pete Koulianos, earlier in the season, when talking about the design of his defense, he talked about the base 3-3 look. He said, plain and simple, our best players on defense are in our secondary, and that's where we are most athletic. And our strongest is when we play with 5 defensive backs, and you're seeing that a lot tonight.
Yeah, and, if that's your strength, go to it. When you've got 5 DBs that are able to hold their own, go for it. They've shifted into more of a 4-2 here with a walked-up linebacker blitzing.
And they do bring blitz. It's caught by Danzy, but well short of the line again. That's a good open field tackle by Braden Hurley. We've called his name a bunch tonight. He's a free safety and a senior playing in one of his final games as the Lake Central Indians tonight.
Yeah, and again, he's been all over the field making plays from the safety position. Again, 10, 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage on the defensive side, but he has been flying around and just finding the ball carrier every time.
So it's 4th down and 5, and they will snap it off before the end of the quarter. The clock now strikes 0:00. Lucas Lynn will let this bounce on a hop, and it takes a Lake Central hop as well. And they will down it at the 26-yard line. So we've played 3, and we're back where we started, 14 all between Lake Central and Valparaiso. The ensuing possession for Lake Central is next when you come back. This is Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craftworkers for Indiana Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I've received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craftworkers for Indiana Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the perfect place or get the best deal for your property. Call today at 219-406-7195 and take the first step toward your real estate goals. Contact Brent Wright.
Fourth quarter is here, and we're all tied up. Cab Miller, Chris Figgs, Axonelli, Thomas Marsh enjoying your company here on this Friday night. From Valparaiso, Indiana, the fourth quarter begins with a play-action pass. It's caught, and Frankie Verda spins out of a tackle into Valparaiso territory. Can they catch him? No, they can't. 80 yards. Touchdown, LC.
That was the quickest play or quickest drive Lake Central's had all night, and that is a huge, huge touchdown. Your defense just had essentially a 4-and-out, and now one-play drive. That is sometimes the best drive you can have as an offense. So, again, great play calling by Lake Central there. It was a play action. You let Verda break a tackle, and, he was off to the races. No one was catching him. He was making up for that missed touchdown earlier for sure.
74 yards, rather, on the touchdown pitch and catch there. It's Verda's 7th receiving touchdown on the year. The team's leader in receptions and receiving yards. Now also leads the team in touchdown receptions. Olenkamp drives it through. And 11 seconds into the fourth quarter, Lake Central has their first lead of the football game. Unbelievable.
That is unbelievable again. And they didn't get the lead on a long drive. They got it on a one-play passing touchdown. Keep in mind, it wasn't a deep pass by any means. It was a quick little, 5-yard curl route on play action. But Verda did the rest. And, he, as I said, he broke that one tackle, and he was making sure he was making up for that missed touchdown opportunity he had earlier after a great catch.
So Valparaiso now has to find an answer. Down for the first time today in their last game of the regular season. And as we get set for another kickoff, make sure to stay with Region Sports after the game as we'll send it back to the Centier Bank Studio. RSN will recap all of tonight's action from around the region, all from the Centier Bank Studio. And I'm sure this one's going to get talked about. What a game we've had here, and it's only going to get better as these final 11 minutes and 49 seconds come and go.
I was going to say, I can't even tell you which one's the play of the game. The Verda almost touchdown that a teammate picked up the fumble, where he had a tremendous catch, or that huge catch and run from him there. Verda is definitely making a case for play of the game on 2 different plays. But, again, that is a huge lead when you were just tied 14-14. You've been down or tied this whole game. Now you come back, take the lead. That's going to build some confidence for this Lake Central defense, too.
So now it's time for another Quintel kickoff. This kickoff and all kickoffs are presented by Quintel Incorporated. Quintel Incorporated, handling jobs of all sizes throughout the country. since 1994. Lubbock plays it on a hop from inside his own 5. Sidesteps one, but can't get around 4 other defenders that were there to greet him at the 14.5-yard line. Forward progress spots him up at the 15.
Yeah, and it's just hard. You know, you want to let it bounce. You're hoping that it might bounce into the end zone. He takes it off the bounce. Sometimes when you do that, I mean, unfortunately, you just give the kickoff team time to get to you and make a huge play there. And, I mean, now you're starting on your own 15.
I'll say this, even if we can't decide the play of the game, we have several candidates for the IBEW Local 697 electrifying plays. That's for certain.
Yeah, I mean, we have had some very electrifying runs, big plays.
On a toss, it's Finley. Can't get around the corner, but he does pick up 5 yards on 1st and 10.
Yeah, I mean, again, you know, Valpo, if I am Valpo right now, you don't hit the panic button just yet. You know, you've still got 11 minutes in this game. You don't have to start throwing the ball every play. If I'm Valpo's offensive coordinator, my goal on this drive is to run that clock out as much as possible. Don't give this Lake Central team that outside of one huge play, you know, hasn't been able to have quick successive drives. It's just been a long drive after long drive.
Here's Parisi on your favorite, the jet touch pass, but it goes nowhere. It's a loss of 1.
This Lake Central defense has some energy about them right now. You know, offense, like I said, had a huge play, huge touchdown right there. Now you come out, and I mean, again, the jet touch pass all night has been killing them, and this time instead, they're able to get a stop at the line of scrimmage. I mean, that is a huge stop for them on a play that's been a backbreaker for them.
3rd down and 6 from the 19. This is gut check time for Valparaiso. Hosek, straight drop back between the seams. It's caught. 1st down at the 30-yard line. It is Chase Lubbock who moves the 6. Good for 10 yards and a Four Seasons Mechanical Maryville 1st down.
Lucas Embry almost got a hand on it there. Again, great pass there. I mean, he sees the pressure coming. He knows he's going to get hit as he lets it off, and he's still able to get it in the gap there.
So here we go, 1st down and 10 from the 29. Clock is not on Valparaiso's side.
It is
9:54 and counting, but they do have all 3 timeouts. Keep that in mind as we progress here in the quarter. Hosek fakes on the reverse. Pumps, hesitates, lofts downfield, and he overshot the streaking Sam Vennard, who blew by Braden Hurley in coverage.
Yeah, he was wide open. I mean, again, if you get that pass down, he is off to the races. I don't think that Hurley might catch him. I mean, with the way he's been playing tonight, he is not allowed a touchdown, and he is not allowing a big play at all. So, I mean, who knows?
The big breaking point so far, a 74-yard touchdown pass to Frankie Verdup. It was a simple, just 5-yard out route. He spun out of a tackle and just broke away down the far sideline. Parisi goes in motion, high snap. They'll swing it out to him. Breaks out of 1, but can't escape the trailing tackler and Brian Reisky, the linebacker. Veteran player limits the damage to 2.
Yeah, and that's their leading tackler on the year there in Reisky. And, you know, again, the high snap there really killed the momentum on that play. If the snap's right in the quarterback's hands, I think you see the wide receiver take off on a bigger gain there. But, you know, again, you can't control everything, unfortunately.
So they need 8 here to move the sticks. You can get it close. You might be able to consider this 4-down territory. Hosek goes over the middle. Low throw. It is caught. No. Incomplete, says the back judge. As Lubbock.
And again, you got to feel bad for the back judge or even the ref there, because
that's a tough call.
It's a tough call, and especially when you don't have instant replay, any kind of review process. I mean, if you call it catch, it's a catch. If you call it not, I mean, you're going to have a lot of unhappy people in the stands.
You know, Bill Marshall's going to put this game now at this point on his defense. Neither of these teams have been able to get it up to a 2-possession lead. Lake Central has an opportunity, assuming you don't take a dumb penalty here on the punt from Trevor Faudner.
Yeah, Lake Central, don't even try to block the punt. Just let them get it off, because you don't want to get a roughing the punter penalty or any kind of penalty, really. This one's taking more of a Valpo bounce here.
And it will be rolled inside the 20 and down by the Vikings' Cameron Smith. So here comes Lake Central, a flag. I believe it's going to be holding on the return team, and that's the indication from our officials. We'll check in with them, though, right now.
Holding on the kicking team during the kick. It's 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Wow. Okay, that's on Valpo.
I'm kind of confused because usually... But they're moving the return team back, it looks like.
I think he may have just got it mixed up.
Yeah, I think he mispronounced that. It was the return team with the holding penalty there. So when he said the kick team, but he was pointing towards Lake Central, so I was kind of confused there. I'm like, I didn't know they just kicked the ball.
But going back, though, to that incompletion on Chase Lovick, I mean, you don't want to put our guy Zach Sinelli to work on the replay machine?
We can try, but I don't think the refs will hear us out either way.
I don't think so either. I'm with you. 1st and 10 from the 10, so they'll have to go 90 yards to go up 2 scores, at least get into field goal range, but there's a lot of question marks with what is the field goal range for Olenkamp, given the fact that he is longest is from about 23. They'll swing it out. Logan Rowden escapes the tackle of Fry, gets outside the edge, and Logan Rowden gets them out of danger zone to around the 25-yard line. It's good for a first down. Brought to you by Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville, your Northwest Indiana heating and air conditioning specialists.
Yeah, that's a huge first down there because now instead of being essentially in the shadow of your own end zone, now you're able to essentially get out of it, and now you're going to be on the 25-yard line, it looks like.
25 left hash, 8:45 to go. Clock stopped here for this running attack that has now found some success through the air in the second half. They go back on the turf with Turley, and he goes backwards by a yard.
Yeah, and you know that, again, this Valpo defense is essentially telling this Lake Central offense, hey, you're going to have to beat us with your arm. But, I mean, Reddick's got 2 passing touchdowns tonight, so one of them was and they've both been essentially the receiver making the play happen, but they're still beating them in the air right now with 2 touchdowns through the air.
It was Balog on the tackle. Reese Balog, a senior, one of the first times we've called his name tonight. Clock's still moving, though, and if you're Lake Central, you might as well take some time to your point.
Yeah, you don't want to score. I mean, if you score, you want to do it on a long drive or a quick drive.
Reddick pumps, flushed out to his right. He'll take it himself, lowers his shoulder, and is driven down shy of the 30. Haynes was there.
A little bit of a risky run, you know. DB tried to make a play on the ball, hitting Reddick right where he was carrying the ball at, but good job by Reddick holding on. I mean, we've seen him make some plays on some 3rd and longs tonight, so this seems manageable essentially for a Lake Central run-first offense, which is kind of crazy to say. Usually a run-first offense, 3rd and 6, you're a little worried, but this has been an offense that's been able to make it happen on the longer downs.
3rd down and 5 after the 6-yard pickup there on the quarterback scramble. And Valparaiso jumps, and that will give Lake Central first down yardage.
I think they're still going to be 1 yard short because it's 3rd and 6.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. They announced it as 3rd and 5. Beg your pardon there. So it's 3rd and 1. You are correct.
And now we're going to see a tush push, I have a feeling.
There's your Tony Romo call that you've been waiting for.
Don't know necessarily if it's a Tony Romo call when we've seen him do it every 3rd and 1, 4th and 1.
So 3rd down and 1 from the 34-yard line.
Looks like they're waiting to confirm if they're going to do it. Might call a timeout here. It looks like there's some confusion.
They have a lot of confusion, but they also have 25 seconds to get this off.
Yeah, I think what they're doing is they're just running down the play clock, just letting the clock run out a little bit. That way they don't have to necessarily, if they don't get it, I mean, you've taken almost 2-3 minutes off the clock on this drive.
Play clock inside of 5 now. And Reddick powers forward. Got a 1.5 yards on the tush push and has a first down. Brought to you by Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville. Visit them on the web at fourseasonsmechanical.com.
Yeah, and that's a huge first down on this drive because you just want to keep the time running down, and they've done an effective job of that.
Remember a few years ago, Wisconsin in a bowl game, they played Arizona State. They got the ball up 8 points with 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter and ended the game on that possession. They had an 11-minute drive that just flattened the clock and won the game in a bowl game.
Hey, gotta love it.
It's not uncommon, as here's Jacob Turley slicing his way forward for 3.5 yards.
You know, again, short run. It's not necessarily a backbreaker, but it's still another 2 yards. Time still running down. You've got almost 5.5 minutes left in the game.
2nd down and 8 now. This is inside of 5.5 minutes now before this next snap. And you can tell Pete Koulianos is telling his guys, hey, slow down, don't have a rush.
Yeah, I mean, it's the right thing. They're letting the play clock essentially get to 5 seconds, and then they line up to do their play.
They snap it with 2. Reddick fakes it to Turley, keeps it himself, and is taken down at the 41-yard line.
Right back to the midline read option there, and again, now you're looking at third and manageable, 3rd and 5, and again, you know, we've seen an offsides penalty now. We've also seen times where they're able to get 3rd and long, so no question about it. They have an opportunity here to essentially potentially close out the game.
3rd down and 5. Valparaiso needs to get off the field here if they want to have a shot at this rate.
They do. They need to either force a turnover or just stop them with no yardage.
Line to gain is the 46 of LC. It's Turley around the corner, and he's taken down 2 yards shy. Pete Koulianos has a decision to make as 4th and 2 is impending. Fry on the stop. And as of now, Pete Koulianos keeps his offense on the field.
I've also seen before, he may not go for it here on 4th and 2. You might let the clock run down to, 1 second left on the play clock, call a timeout, or take the delay of game. I mean, you're going to bring it under 4 minutes. It's almost going to be 3.5 minutes left on the
Just a situation where you try to give him a jump as well and just take the delay as well. Is that considered here?
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like they might actually do a quarterback sneak here.
They're trying to win the game right here if they go for it, and they won't.
They call the timeout. But, I mean, you leave 3:46 left on the time, so, I mean, it's the right call. You run down the clock. You now can punt the ball. And, I mean, again, your defense has come up with some big stops. Putting your defense back out there, they've got all the confidence in the world.
2nd timeout for Pete Koulianos in his 2nd year. Boy, what a statement win this would be early on in his tenure at the head coach of Lake Central. A road win against a state title winner a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and traditionally, Valpo's record doesn't show it this year. They've only won 2 games. But, again, this is a traditionally good football program. And, I mean, a lot of their games have been closer games this season as well.
So now it's going to come down to one final series in this game, more likely than not. Valparaiso, after a dominant win on the road last week against old school Duneland Conference rival in Portage, now on the brink of a unheard of 7th defeat in the regular season. Should they fail to find a way to tie or take the lead here with 3:46 left. Olenkamp to punt. It's a fake punt, and they're going to get it. It's Brody Ramirez down the sideline. A gutsy call from Lake Central, and it pays off. There is a flag down in front of the Lake Central bench well after LC picked up the 1st down.
It might be an unnecessary roughness. It looked like he was running out of bounds. But it's actually funny you say that, because I was about to say, I have a feeling they might fake the punt with the way he's called the game tonight. So, I mean, again, it's a gutsy call, but it's the right call. Your team has done everything they can to win this game. You're going to give them that chance to win. Put the ball in your playmakers' hands.
If it stands, or if it's on Valparaiso, it's 1st down and 10 for Lake Central on the Valpo 40. This is the biggest announcement of the night. They are talking to the Lake Central sideline right now, which 9 times out of 10 is an indicator that it's on the opponent. Here's the call.
They might call a sideline infraction. Oh.
Spot foul, 4th down.
That's a huge, huge penalty right there. Because now you went from faking the punt and getting the 1st down. Now you're going to have to punt the ball away.
So they're trying to confirm the spot of the penalty and subtract the yardage from that. So it's actually now 4th down and 3. Do they do it again?
You know, it wouldn't shock me with the way he's called the game tonight, but also it's one of those things that might not work a second time.
Holenkamp will boot it away. Varnado claims it at the 24. Stutter steps and tries to go right. Breaks out of another tackle, and he's finally brought down by Hurley, shy of the Valparaiso 30.
Yeah, that's a huge stop there. I mean, again, it looked like he was going to break off a touchdown right there, and that would be a backbreaker after your offense just drained the time, and then you give up a punt return touchdown at an inopportune time.
Good news is, unless Valpo went for 2, you're dealing with a tie game, worst-case scenario at that point.
Yeah, this is one of those, though. I could see if Valpo gets a touchdown, I can see them going for 2 because, again, this is a Lake Central team that's come out with some energy tonight. And it's hard, you know. Do you sit there and say, hey, I trust my guys to go into overtime, or do you say this Lake Central defense has been really good tonight?
So far, there have been 6 possessions for Valparaiso. That one's batted down at the line. Brian Reisky again with the swat. But back to the original point, though. Valparaiso's had 8 offensive possessions tonight. 6 of them have started on their own side of the field, and all 6 of them have resulted in 0 points.
And that's a huge stat there because, I mean, again, that means this Lake Central defense is getting after them, and they are doing their job of preventing anything happening.
2nd and 10 now. Box loaded up for Lake Central. They bring pressure as Hosek rolls out. Looking for an option. From behind, he goes down. Reisky again. His 2nd sack of the season gives all the momentum right back to LC.
Yeah, now, I mean, you're looking at 3rd and 15, and Valpo's in a situation you're going to have to go for it on 4th down no matter what. Because, I mean, you're down a touchdown. You need to score. You can't afford the opportunity to punt the ball in and hope your defense can get a stop.
Loss of 6 for the senior who's trying to get what would be one of the statement wins of his high school career.
You know, something else to keep in mind, Valpo's only got 1 timeout left.
Hosek, pressure coming, and Hosek is taken down again. This time it's Luke Felis. His 1st sack of the season makes it 4th down and 16.
What hurts is, even though technically, you know, it's a sack, he got back to the line of scrimmage. So on the stat sheet, it's not going to show it. But again, that is another huge stop from this Lake Central defense. We're going to get a timeout here from, I believe, Valpo.
It is a timeout for Valparaiso. They have 2 left. Lake Central has 1 left. It actually is a loss of 1. They've changed it, so it is a sack now officially for Felis.
That's a good thing for Felis, because I know, you know, it hurts sometimes when you lose that sack because he gets back to the line of scrimmage and you're like, come on, man, I got him before he got there.
Yeah.
He just went down at the line of scrimmage. he didn't get there. He just went down. He just fell, you know.
His knee was on the ground behind the line of scrimmage. Give me the sack is what he's saying.
The ball was still behind the line of scrimmage. I'm telling you, it's a sack. He was arguing his case to the ref. He's like, come on, ref, give me the sack.
This feels like this is a conversation and a point that comes from past experience for you, partner.
Unfortunately, I didn't have many sacks in high school, but, you know, one of them got called or a tackle because the guy got right to the line of scrimmage.
Oh.
The ball just hit the line of scrimmage as he went down. I'm like, come on.
That's one of those where you're just like, give me something.
Especially, you know, trying to put this on some game tape. You know, it sucks if I put this down as a tackle.
Yeah, exactly. Here's your ball game right here. It's 4th down and 17. Hosek looking for a prayer. It's incomplete. No flags. Hurley in coverage, as well as Rashid Shamsiden against Jimmy Parisi, the number 1 receiving option. And Lake Central can put this one on ice.
Yeah, no flag is the right call right there because, I mean, again, wide receiver made contact with the DB. DB didn't necessarily try to make a play on the ball and hit the wide receiver or anything like that.
So now Lake Central will take this one over. 2:18 to go from the plus 22. This is their best starting field position of the game. This is the conversation they're probably having. Do you try to just bleed out the clock, or do you go get the dagger right here?
Bleed out the clock, because, I mean, again, game clock is usually 25 to 40 seconds, 2:18 left. Start the clock right here, milk it down another 25, and just, again, even if you don't get a first down, I mean, you give Valpo maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds left on the clock.
Pistol formation. Jacob Turley powers forward with bodies helping him inside of the 20. And the timeout will be called. At least they signaled it on the field. I believe Valparaiso called it. We're waiting for the official confirmation after a 3-yard pickup there for Turley. It will be Valparaiso who takes it their second and a half. They have 1 remaining.
On the scoreboard, it showed they only had 1 timeout left earlier, so I'm sorry if I misspoke on that. But now they are down to 1 timeout left.
This is that gut check time right here for both sides for Valparaiso's defense. Can you muster up a stand here and find a way to get off the field or force a turnover? And if you're Lake Central, you're thinking,
we got to get the first down.
Yeah, one move of the chains here can wrap this thing up, and you pick up a major road win before playoff time.
Yeah, I mean, again, right before playoff time, you have Crown Point next week, and I mean, having a huge road win in conference play to end the year, I mean, that is a big difference maker going into playoffs.
Lake Central 3-7 last year, 2-5 in Duland Conference. They finished in 6th place. Pete Koulianos, after a heartbreaking loss last year to Valparaiso, where Valpo rallied and won it in the 4th quarter, a chance to rally and win it on their field a year later. Reddick for 2 yards on 2nd down and long, and Bill Marshall burns his last time out of the night.
Yeah, and if you are Lake Central right here, you're thinking, hey, this is potentially 4th down territory. I mean, you can end the game, or again, if you have faith in your kicker, just have him go out there, kick a field goal. You essentially win the game unless Valpo can have a 1-touchdown play drive or a 1-play touchdown drive and then get an onside kick recovery. So, I mean, this is really it's a hard decision as a coach, because part of you just wants to end the game, get the first down if you're in 4th down territory. But also, you've got to sit there and think about, okay, if we take the points, we're up by 10 points, 2 minutes left, about we'll say 140, 130 left in the game. So it's a real gut check time, not only for these players, but also the, coaches as well, on what decision they decide to make if it's 4th down.
3rd down and 5 incoming. Valparaiso out of timeouts. Lake Central 1 remaining. They need to get inside the 13-yard line to move the chains and end this football game. Their kicker, TJ Olenkamp, 6 of 7 on the year.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. If your kicker's been that good this year, take the points.
Reddick in the gun. Turley gets the call, turns the corner. First down, Jacob Turley out of bounds with a flag that comes in late from the referee.
It's going to be a holding call on the defense.
Wow.
You can definitely hear the displeasure from these Valpo fans.
Wait, he pointed at Valparaiso but announced it as Lake Central.
I'm confused.
He's done it now a 2nd time. So who is the penalty on?
It's on Lake Central?
Yes. So it's 10 yards from the spot, and now it's 3rd down and long.
Maybe the fans got to the white cap right there saying, hey, what's going on? Why are we calling another penalty here?
He said holding on Lake Central, but pointed as a holding penalty on the defense. Yeah, either way, here comes 3rd down and long from the 25, and now that probably pushes you out of field goal range if you can't at least advance the ball.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, It just depends, how big of a leg does your kicker have? Can he make a 40-yard field goal, 45-yard field goal? It's possible. I mean, there's kickers in high school that do it all the time, especially because you get that little T marker out there as a kicker in high school. It's not going straight to the turf.
Play clock inside of 2 seconds. They get it off. It's Turley, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage. May have lost one on the play, and now here comes a 4th down, and Pete Koulianos has to make a decision. Ryan Cheek will come on for the stop for the 1-yard loss there.
I believe they're going to let the play clock run out, call a timeout, and decide if they're going to go for it here.
There's a lot of risk here because the ball's on the 26-yard line, but obviously if you can take the points here, you might as well do it. The field goal unit for Lake Central has now trotted in the direction of Coach Pete Koulianos on that far sideline. This might be a situation where you call the timeout and then send the unit out there.
I think that's what's going to happen because you got to take the points at this point.
And he will. So out comes TJ Olenkamp with a chance to end this football game right here. Olenkamp so far perfect on PATs. And as we assume if he comes out here, like we mentioned, much better year kicking the football than last year. 6 of 7 this year compared to going 0-2 in 2024.
Yeah, and this is a big kick. This is essentially the dagger in the back or dagger in the heart, as you want to call it. This is the game time decision. If you make the kick, obviously game's over. I don't foresee Valpo being able to score 10 points in a minute, but anything can happen as well.
So here we go for TJ Olenkamp to put the game on ice for Lake Central. This is a 42-yard field goal just right of the hash. His long this season and in his career is 35 yards. This is a new career high for him. From 42 yards, it's blocked. There's a flag down, though.
I think it's going to be another rough in the center.
As Nick Fry brings it back across the 45-yard line, and I think Olenkamp's going to get a do-over at this.
I mean, if it's another roughing the center, it's a 15-yard penalty. That's a first down. But if it's an offsides, then it's just a 5-yard penalty. And like you said, he'll get another chance. High snap affected that kick for sure. Let's see what the white hat calls here.
Bill Marshall does not like the answer that the linesman just gave him, so that might be an indication of which way this is going.
Well, with the way the white hat's been pointing tonight, we have no clue.
And to your point, though, that's huge, though, that what type of call this is. We're assuming this is on Valparaiso, but what is it?
Yeah, is it a 5-yard? Is it a 15? Or even a defensive holding a 10-yard penalty? I mean, if you're Valpo, you're hoping it's the 5 or 10-yard option.
Well, you're hoping this is on Lake Central.
Yeah, because you just blocked the kick.
Here we go.
15-yard penalty.
Automatic first down, and a roughing the snapper penalty is going to end this football game.
And that is a huge, huge call. I mean, again, it's an automatic first down. You're probably going to see a kneel down.
And it makes sense given that the block came from right above the center.
Yeah.
The umpire, credit to him, right on top of the play. And Lake Central can kneel this game out. What a gutsy road win for Pete Koulianos' program.
Yeah, I mean, and again, even if you're not able to take down the, Crown Point next week, I mean, you're carrying momentum into the next season. You came into Valpo's house. You redeemed a win that you should have won last year when you lost in the fourth quarter. And, I mean, this is a huge statement win for this Lake Central team, and it's a huge statement win for the defense especially and the offense.
Valparaiso can't stop the clock, so this will do it. Lake Central picks up win number 3 on the year. Their second in Duneland play. Cameron Reddick, what a game he had under center tonight. They've been running a 2-quarterback system all season long with him and Wes Lalich. It's been whoever's had the hotter hand. And tonight with while it's not available, it's been the Cam Reddick show, and boy, did he shine bright when they needed him most.
Yeah, I mean, Reddick did great running the ball, had a 1-yard touchdown run because of the tush push. And then you had a huge passing touchdown off a broken tackle, and then you also had that little 6-yard touchdown pass as well. So, 3 total touchdowns on the night. Had that unfortunate fumble. Usually the team that wins the turnover battle holds the advantage, but this Lake Central defense, again, hats off to them and their defensive coordinator tonight. They came out to play. They came out to win this game, and they did everything they could. And the offense, too. We talked about second-half struggles with the offense. Offense seems to have gotten it together right at the right time, right before playoffs.
So Lake Central comes away with a great team win, 21-14 the final. They dominated in all 3 phases of the football game tonight, and that's how you win a game on the road in this conference.
Yeah, you got to win at all phases of football. You got to win on defense, got to win on offense, got to win on special teams. Honestly, one of the biggest plays of the night is the blocked field goal, because if Valpo makes that, you're down 10-0. So, that was a huge stop by the defense, and this defense, again, just great play calling tonight and also great team.
Congrats to Pete Koulianis' program. His concern all season long and his challenge for his team was, can my guys play a full 4 quarters? That's what we've been challenging them to do over the last couple of weeks. They played a full 3 quarters last week. This time around, they play a full 4 quarters and pick up a great road win. We'll step aside for a few moments. Our post-game show is up next. We'll recap the full action here tonight, give you a last scoreboard update, and hand out some hardware. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the NECA contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
If you are injured in a worksite accident or hurt by a defective product, go with the guy that has a proven track record litigating these cases. Otto Schragle, a principal partner at the Allen Law Group, will make sure those responsible for hurting you are held to account for their negligence. With multiple offices in Indiana and Illinois, you can reach them at 219-465-6292 or reach them out on the web at www.kenallenlaw.com.
Momentum changer.
When it comes to your money, you deserve more than just numbers on a page. You deserve someone who sees the full picture. Meet Mark Machnick, one of Northwest Indiana's most trusted accounting professionals. Whether you're running a business, planning for retirement, or just trying to make sense of tax season, Mark Machnick, located in Highland, makes it simple, personal, and believe it or not, painless. Contact Mark and his team today at 219-595-5290. Mark Machnick, CPA.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.
At Strachan Van Til, we believe grocery shopping should be simple. Now, shopping is easier than ever with our new and improved website. Find what you need fast. Browse your favorite products, add them to your cart, and check out in just a few quick steps. Choose between convenient in-store pickup or let us handle the heavy lifting. From our shelves to your doorstep, skip the lines, shop your way, and spend more time on what matters most. With our rewards program, enjoy incredible savings and personalized offers every time you shop. Shop online now at strachanvantil.com or download our app today.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Companies, insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
From lighting up Friday night football to powering the classrooms that shape the students of Lake County, IBEW Local 697 is proud to support our region's schools and the communities we call home. A career as a union electrician could be your next great move. Your next cap might be a hard hat. IBEW Local 697, powering futures, powering the region.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4, A Job Done Right.
Welcome back here on the Region Sports Network. Time for the postgame show. Captain Laner, Chris Figg, and our entire crew with you here on this Friday night from Valparaiso. What a win for the Lake Central Indians, 21-14. They never led until the fourth quarter, and then the 74-yard touchdown pass from Cameron Reddick to Frankie Verda. Verda's 7th receiving touchdown of the year. That was Reddick's 5th of the year. But Reddick, a multi-passing touchdown game, a rarity for him. But hey, he stepped up when his team needed him most.
Yeah, he definitely stepped up when his team needed him most this week. And, you know, we talked about they're not a very pass-heavy team, but 2 of your 3 touchdowns came through the air. One a short one, you know, a little 6-yard touchdown and that huge 74-yard touchdown. But, I mean, Lake Central did a good job of just playing a complete game through 4 quarters. Offense didn't panic. Offense coordinator didn't try to start airing the ball out the minute they went down a score or, you know, if Valpo was driving or if they weren't getting anything going. Stuck with what worked. You know, obviously the 74-yard pass was a rarity for them, and it was a lot of thanks to Frankie Verda there for breaking off a couple tackles and just outrunning the whole defense. So, I mean, again, it's one of those things, you know, it's not their normal way of winning games or, you know, playing games, but it worked out today for them, and hats off to Lake Central for just playing a complete game tonight and not allowing that early turnover on their first drive to really affect them in the game.
And Lake Central improves to 3-6 on the year, 2-5 in Duneland play. Valparaiso falls to 2-7 overall, 2-5 in Duneland Conference play. Time now for a scoreboard update presented by Strack and Van Til. This scoreboard update and all scoreboard updates are courtesy of your neighborhood Strack and Van Til Food Market. Strack and Van Til. Shop online for delivery or curbside pickup at strackandvantil.com. We'll start with that really impressive 5-6 matchup. Griffith pulling away from 6th-ranked Wheeler 34-10 in that game in the fourth quarter nearing its finale. 3rd-ranked Andrean, a 19-3 road win at Lowell in that 3-4 matchup in our Region Sports Network top 10. Then here in the Duneland Conference, Maryville running away from things just down the road here in Valparaiso. Chesterton with a 42-7 scoreline in the fourth quarter over Chesterton. The Pirates, they're looking really good going into postseason play. And with Hill at quarterback, they're a team that I think a lot of people, and I think you and I both agree, can make a deep run.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Hill has been a very good passer of the ball this year. And, I mean, in 8 games, he was almost at 3,000 yards passing, which is incredible at a high school level especially. Not a lot of turnovers from him. I mean, that is a very high-powered offense. And the good thing for Maryville, too, is, they're a bigger school, so not a lot of kids are playing both sides of the ball. So when your defense gets out there, it's just the defensive starters. They're not starting both ways all the time. You might have a secondary player that comes in as a wide receiver or running back every once in a while, but it's not, your offense stays fresh, defense stays fresh. And, I mean, if they keep up this high-powered offense they've had all season, they're going to definitely have a chance to make it all the way to the title game.
Elsewhere in the Duneland Conference, number 1 ranked Crown Point after a slow start at home against 7th ranked Michigan City. Bulldogs pulling away. They're up 35-20 in the fourth quarter. Crown Point, the big storyline for them, obviously they've dominated the region the last couple of years. Can they find the way to go all the way this year? They've had so many great regular seasons and great early runs in the postseason before fizzling out when it matters most. Can they find a way this year around to get to that next level and possibly bring home a state championship to Crown Point?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have the chance. They're a very well-coached team, and like we said, they've really done a great job of essentially just dominating the region over the past 3 years and doing a good job in playoff runs. It's just it depends when they run into a team from Indianapolis. That's when it's going to come down to. If they run into a team in the semifinals, again from Indianapolis, it can be a toss-up. I know last year they were almost there, but just it depends on, what their playoff road looks like, essentially.
And lastly, elsewhere in the Duneland Conference, good one at the half between LaPorte and Portage. A game in LaPorte. The Slicers only up 18-14 on Portage. That's a Portage Indian side who is in search of its first win of the season, and they're hanging in there like they had the last couple of weeks. Can they compete, though, in the second half? I think is the big question for everyone.
Yeah, and I mean, again, it's a LaPorte team. They've got a really great player in Reed Raymond who does a lot for that team. They've got a good running attack with him. I mean, he is a straight downhill running back, doesn't really go east-west, mostly goes north-south. So it's just going to be, stick with what's working in that game. Obviously, we're not watching the game right now, so I couldn't tell you kind of what they're doing. But, if they're running the ball efficiently, just keep up with it. I mean, that is what can win you that game. Just stick with what is working.
That is a scoreboard update courtesy of your neighborhood Strachan Van Til Food Market. Strachan Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Time now to name the Crowell Companies Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Crowell Companies, the insurance professionals. And our Lantern Man Superhero of the Game tonight, presented by Crowell Companies, is the quarterback for Lake Central, Cameron Reddick. What a game he had. 5 of 11 for 140 yards passing, 2 passing touchdowns, a rushing touchdown as well, as he guided his team in their final regular season game of the season to a big statement road win.
Yeah, huge statement road win, and, obviously got it done through the air as well as on the ground, and he just did a good job of, had a, first quarter turnover on the very first drive of the game. You fumble the ball, give it over to the Valparaiso Vikings. Good job of having just a short-term memory, overcoming that turnover, and really guiding and leading this team into victory.
He's our superhero of the game. Now to name the blue-collar player of the game, brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Boilermakers Local 374. Learn about the apprenticeship programs and more at local374.org. And the blue-collar player of the game tonight was Braden Hurley of Lake Central, the senior free safety, one of his last high school football games in his career. He came up big, a couple of huge pass breakups, was everywhere on the field, in the backfield as well. He did it all.
Yeah, I mean, he did it all, and, he had a lot of touchdown-saving tackles, a lot of big play-saving tackles. We talk about that huge jet sweep that Valpo had in the first half. Looked like it was going to be a touchdown, and he's, downfield trying to make a play. He was all over the field, always finding the ball carrier and making sure that he was bringing him to the ground to prevent any kind of big play. A couple of big pass breakups, too.
And this next one might be a little controversial, but it's time to now name the proud to be Union play of the game by Ironworkers Local 395. Ironworkers Local 395. To find out how you can become a Union Ironworker, visit ironworkers395.com. And tonight's Ironworkers 395 play of the game was not, although the leading candidate probably publicly was the 74-yard touchdown from Reddick to Frankie Verta to go ahead and win the game for Lake Central. Instead, we go back to the second quarter and a blocked 30-yard field goal from the Lake Central defense.
Yeah, and, I'm sure the public thinks it's that 74-yard passing touchdown, and that was a big play. And, it really gave them the lead, kind of put the nail in the coffin essentially in this game. But the big thing with that blocked field goal is that instead of being down 10-0, your defense, after a longish drive, blocked a field goal for a team to go up 2 scores essentially on you in the first quarter, a team that seemed like Valpo had all of the momentum, and that really knocked the wind out of their sails really fast. And, that, I think, was the defining moment for that defense to say, hey, we can make the plays, we can get the stops. And it really helped push and motivate the offense because then that was the offense's first scoring drive right after. So, I think that was really the tone setter for the defense throughout the game.
Valparaiso now has to get back to the drawing board. Lake Central try to ride this one high into the state playoffs next weekend. What a game it was here in Valparaiso. Special thanks to our executive producer, Chris Ramirez, our operations manager, Rich Castillo, coordinating producer, Zach Miller, our sports director, Mike Dewan. For our producer, as always, Zach Zanelli, our great camera operator, Thomas Marsh. Special thanks to the coaches of each side. For Lake Central, Pete Koulianos, and for Valparaiso, Bill Marshall. To the athletic directors, special thank you to them for having us. For Lake Central, it's Chris Enyart, and for Valparaiso, Stacey Adams. And last but not least, a special thanks to the viewers like you at home at Facebook/Region Sports Nation, YouTube/Region Sports, regionsports.com, and the IHSAA Champions Network. For my partner, Chris Figg, I'm Kevin Blair saying so long from Valparaiso High School, where Lake Central comes with a road win, 21-14 the final. You've been watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the